Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Boneyard podcast. This week we got oh man, it switched you guys around again. We got
Did
Colonel
you put me in the long
Cockface.
graph?
No, well, it switched you around. It wasn't that way a minute ago. We got Colonel Cockface, Grafmere, and it switched me in Legendary too. I don't want to be up there. It's okay. We're not professional here. It's all good.
Bear's not ready to be an HV Lloyd.
Yeah, not yet. But we got some good friends coming back to the podcast. All these guys are returning. I'll let them do a little introduction of themselves. And Schnazzy man.
Whoa, look at him.
Absolutely, man.
Look good.
Been there since the
I
last
just want to
stream, dude.
mention that my name is only with one F.
Oh,
That's the only thing I would
yeah. Hey, we're working on it. You know, I actually might want to leave
Okay.
it now just because it might piss Legendary off the HVL guys. But there we go. All right.
Thank you.
Actually, and then 11 EFL, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me put that in there too. All right, cool. Now that we got all the names and shit switched around, welcome in, guys.
There you
Hell yeah, dude. So, a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I mean, I'm excited when someone actually texts me that they want to talk about something on the podcast. That's the first time I've had that. So yeah, I mean, the first thing, let's just crack right into it. How about that nuke, huh? How about that
fuck
nuke?
off, mate.
So, I mean, I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are about it, man. I genuinely, because at one half, I understand that it was kind of weird that we built on the, like, I don't know, were we in the decay zone where we built it, or was it just the no drop zone? I don't really know the full
If you
story
guys
on
want,
the
I
build.
can go. If you guys want, I can go first. Right. So the air guys, the Russian air guys, the tag air, they built that nuke and the LDZ because the bombers have ruined any sort of gameplay, any sort of builds you can do outside of no bomb area. The Wardens, from what I understand, they've used the glitch to still be able to bomb. Right. So both factions are glitching and exploiting. Everyone is wrong on that matter, right? Everyone should not be doing that, but the current meta with the bombers forces it to be that way. Everyone is forced to do stupid shit and exploit because the devs don't know what the fuck they're doing. And so you end up with people fighting each other over exploit because you exploit, you exploit, and so you end up people fighting each other like fucking absolute idiots instead of blaming the devs for this goddamn awful design right now, which is forcing that sort of gameplay exploit bullshit.
Well, someone bought a good. I read an interesting take that it's very similar to the situation in Formula One right now, where maybe we should start to not blame the players, right? You don't blame the teams for playing the rules. Maybe you blame the guys that make the rules, right? Because
Graf, you've been
I mean,
watching
you
my
can-
fucking streams, haven't you? God damn, you've been watching my streams, huh? Fuck me. That's exactly how I feel. To a T.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that it feels like shit getting bombed in a zone where you think you're safe, but we can also talk about the inherent game design issue that, as Colonel said as well, apparently all you need is 3 bombers to kill a nuke. I think both factions are. If your intel center is in range, an enemy bomber will next to always be in range of it as well, especially suicide, if you don't plan on making it back. So I think as of right now, nukes don't work. If you can drop into RDZ, they will not work. If you can build them in RDZ, right? Like, it's always this question, like, where did the exploit change start, right? Like, building the nuke in the RDZ, is it intended game design?
You forgot.
Most likely
you,
not.
You forgot one
But-
single thing.
Yes.
At the border, when you spawn the border, you have an invulnerability timer of like 3 seconds or so, right? You remember for
Yes.
vehicles and people?
Yes.
The bomber, if the video has gone around, I can share it as well if need be, but the video has gone around of the bomber, the one bomber spawning in, bombing, right, in the bombs, right? But that's beside the point. The 5 flak guns were shooting him point blank in the face, and he would not die because I think he still had the invulnerability on.
You also need more than 5 flak guns to kill it.
It's ridiculous. How many people do you need to kill a single bomber? The ratio of damage a single bomber can do.
Like,
We took out
the only time I mean,
Sorry,
it's also
yeah,
legendary speaking time. No, go for it. Go for it.
I was just gonna say we just had an air raid on 7 HP storm cannons like literally like 20 minutes ago, and it was like 5 bombers, and we took out 1 bomber's wing with like 3 dudes manning 3 guns. But we had to be like concentrated, like everyone focused this one plane to take out the wing. So we did take out 1 bomber, so you can take it out. But I do agree that the border crossing vulnerability thing is bullshit, but this is nothing new. This is not like planes are have this invulnerability to them. Everything has it. I've literally had a tank cross. We would wait for the tank to move. We would all hit it with ignifists, like 5-6 ignifists, and the tank would just like cross back, taking no damage. So the invulnerability, again as usual, it's just like the stupid border mechanic is
The
not
invuln
explained.
normally
It
would
doesn't
also not be an issue if the RDZ
Yeah.
would not be like it's the RDZ, it's the placement of the nuke that also makes it an issue, right? Like normally, if every other structure is far enough away, like I'm not right. It's the border, like the game currently in its game design state is like borders are an issue, but with Unreal Engine 4, we will probably never resolve it, right? They need to find some kind of
Yep.
solution because the engine is already at its absolute stretch, like.
Oh, the
Okay.
lag. The lag.
Yeah, like it's also not hardware related, right? Like we have people with the most insane rigs, and you still have to reduce certain settings. You need to do something, right? It's, I mean, the engine is at its stretch. You also cannot get more people into the hex. It doesn't work. It's already too much, right? Like structures, everything. It's at its limit, right? And yeah.
What do you think, Big Bill?
So, I've been thinking about this like probably an unhealthy amount. I've had this week off due to
You've had a thinking man pause right now, so I mean, I guess.
Yeah, so I do have a few solutions on how we can make bombers not as nasty but still feel very prudent and very important. I actually think that bombers should get a buff. I think their range should be increased, and I think their bombs should have more damage. Now, the clickbait's over.
Okay.
I think that there should only be airfields running out of Speaking, Basin, and Howell, Red River, Calakai, and Akrithia. I think that they should only have tier 2 airfields at the extreme back far ranges that bombers can only be run super far distance. Long range bombing. I think
reasonable.
they should be I think they should double in price. I think that their range and bomb load should be more prudent. But I think that airfields up front are fucking. I don't think QRF bombers should be a thing, right? That's fucking retarded. I don't think that you should have 10 bombers ready to go out of Lena Mercy running at Lockmore, King's Cage, Deadlands, just doom, 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 doom. That's not realistic, and it's not even fun for gameplay balance. It's retarded. I don't think it's a very good gameplay design. I think if you made airfields farther back for long range distance bombing and make them actually, because they're cheaper than Railstorm cannons, and they're almost borderline more effective. Like, they don't have the one-shot conk, but damn near you can spam them to kill concrete easily enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't take the place of Railstorms, but god damn is it fucking close. You know what I mean? And
I don't know. Like, I don't know how you guys are doing, but like we are completely strapped on HE meds. Like we have
same.
HE's
so stretched on everything, dude. And that's for
like
both
it's the only
factions.
limiting factor for us. Like we are swimming in comms. Like everything is okay. We have everything in excess. The only thing we are lacking is HE meds for everything. And if you look at HE med efficiency, bombs are quite close to a singular shell of 300. So if you actually want to bust concrete, like a bomber for saturation bombing is not the way, at least not on the water faction. Like, we still have the majority of us does it, but when we open up on stall bombing as well, you do it for priority targets, right? You stall bomb the AA, you stall bomb the artillery, and you stall bomb pieces that are already under threat.
Right.
You still need artillery.
But here's
you
the
still need
thing.
cutlass.
You still
right?
have the safety net. Bombing is a lot more safe and a lot easier to do than running an RSC op, because I've hardly seen, especially for wardens, because the dive bomber exists, right? You're running bomber. I haven't seen an RSC yet. And that's probably for good reason, because I would go dive bomb, like I'd send 6 of my dive bombers to fucking
You can
evaporate
use
it.
them. It also doesn't work, but with barrel heat, you shoot 20 times and you scoot out, and you wait an hour in a different hex. You don't stay there anymore. You don't need RSC shooting bases anymore. You just lay a rail. You go in with a fuel runner and a heavy truck with 20 shells in it. That's it.
Still
You shoot
super
20
risky.
shells and you're out. It is
That's-
risky, but that's the way
that's-
you do it. Shoot and scoot.
But that's what I mean.
The-
That still hasn't been happening a lot.
But is that effective though for killing a base? 3
Yes,
shells?
because 300 always rolls for breaches, even if the piece is at 100%. You just play Gamba,
Okay, yeah.
and eventually you will breach. That's what we did with Gallows in Westgate. HBot did it as well, and we just did it in Cluster as well. Shoot and scoot. You singular rail in, you reverse it into position, you shoot 20 shots, and you are out, and you wait for 2 hours or something.
404 did that as well to break Foxcatcher, I believe.
That was a
they-
long operation though. That went like 36
Yeah.
hours or
Yeah,
something,
but
and they hit in RDZ, which was well played.
Yeah, so they literally just had their gun at the border of the RDZ. They would fire 20 shells, and then they would back into the RDZ, and then they would just like QRF for.
Yeah, they
2
did that
hours.
initially. Then 7 Cavs Storm Cannon barrage killed 1 RSC, and from there one out, what they did the entire rest of the evening, they shot 1 shell, drove it back.
Yep.
And they never took because if you only shoot once, when the shell hits, the Storm Cannon then shoots, it doesn't hit in time, and they were always able to out repair easily.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and that's how they withered down on Foxcatcher. Eventually you will breach stuff that hurts.
I
To-
really
to be-
like. Yeah, go
Sorry,
go
go.
ahead.
I was
Go
just gonna say to be fair, I actually don't like the spot that RSCs are in right now. I kind of find it dumb that the only way that you use them is you put them at the edge of a border, shoot a little bit, and run away. It's taken the aesthetic away from the gun significantly.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't really see a way for them to get better defenses against both dive bombers and heavy bombers without being invulnerable to anything lesser than that, you know? Like if the devs add like a specific resistance against that, well, if the dive bomber can no longer harm the RSC, then it could also not be harmed by Varsies, and it can't be hurt by stickies, and it can't be hurt by Arc RPG. So
Yeah.
it's like a weird, it's like in this weird spot now of this is the only thing that you can use an RSC for. If there's a situation where the enemy has built concrete on the edge of the RDZ, the RSC is the only way that you can crack it, and that's all it can do. And it's kind of shitty. It's like that's the only thing that you can do that you can use the weapon for. It's like a mono-use weapon. And
And you have to do it over long periods of time because of barrel
Yeah.
heat as well.
Yep.
And it's so
Yep.
weird. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
My opinion is still of this. I still think, because this is their first war, I can't judge the devs. You know, let's fucking let everything unleash, and we'll figure out how to balance it from there. If they ever do watch this podcast or care, I genuinely think having less tier 2 airfields be more of a strategic asset, and having more tier 1 spammable, possibly even buildable runways, it would make the game more fun, in my opinion. Pushes might actually be able to survive, and you still would be able to QRF from the back line and go bomb a serious push, right? Like, that's not a impossibility, but the turnaround time wouldn't be, we're gonna get bombed every 5 fucking minutes. You know, it just doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel
The
I
thing
really
is,
like your idea.
I just want
really
to
like your
say,
idea.
in general, I know what you're going for. You want to decrease, you don't want to touch the alpha in itself. You just want to decrease the DPS and uptime of bombers. The thing is, if you need tier 2 run race, but wardens cannot really do anything from tier 1 run race, right? We would have to see the entire arsenal before we could even touch that topic, I think, for both sides. Because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
all you
I was-
could do is project air power, which would be, it's like you get a counter, but you can't really do anything with it yourself, right? Like flying fighters for the sake of flying a fighter, in my personal definition, is completely useless, because you only do 2 things with fighters, right? You usually, you know the enemy is there and you want to shoot him down. And the second thing is you try to protect your own assets. And for wardens right now, the only asset that we have that does anything is the bomber. Because, and I will get a lot of flack for this, but in all honesty, the torpedo bomber is completely useless. Because all you do is, the light bomber does everything but better. Unfortunately. because you cannot repair HP damage unless you are back in the shipyard. So what you do is you just straight up HP kill the enemy plane at the ship. It doesn't matter how much damage control party they have. It's irrelevant. With the torpedo, you will not HP kill it. You will get leaks into it, which is super annoying. I agree, but you can out. I can just pick 2 bombers and kill a DD. And if I take 3 bombers, I kill. And if I take 3 bombers, I kill every single battleship and carrier.
I
in one strafe.
actually think Graph's right in this, and a lot of people in chat are going crazy. Garnet, like, I'm gonna be honest, bombers are more effective at killing large ships than fucking torp bombers.
We don't use them anymore. We have torpedo planes
Yeah.
in stockpile since they were
I can show
useful.
you
Torpedo
fucking
planes.
10 clips of people just going and strafing bomber or fucking ships. With,
I did it yesterday with a carrier in BAFs as well. Like it's so easy.
common. It's so common.
It's
to
so
actually
easy.
see bombers go
You don't
kill
even need to
ships.
stall bomb. It's faction neutral.
And I'll
as
be
well. You go
honest,
min speed and pull up. Like you don't need
this
to stall bomb.
is-
Min speed, pull up.
This is
The
where
entire bomb
I
block.
really think this needs to come into play. I actually, and again, this is why I think bombers need to be very strategical assets from the very far back lines, because Basin and Calakai are also be very good spots for airfields, also because they're the farthest back, right? They're the most out of the way. If you had things coming out of there, you wouldn't be able to go QRF with a bomber unless you had a long time setup. That ship could already be moved. It could, like,
I just want to mention for that plan, because you don't want bombers to be a purely defensive tool, the range that we are talking about would be enough to reach Basin and back. That means you could always run.
I
like,
think
you
that's the way it should be, because you have to cross through how many hexes where you would have fighter runways, and you would have to run through how many radars to go down and try to
No,
kill those runways. You know what I mean?
I agree, but I'm just saying with certain time zones and certain factions,
It's
that
already
can be
that bad, though.
exceptionally. I know, and that's an update war. Imagine it's not an update war. Like
Well,
air
exactly.
is not. Air is only half as oppressive as it can be, because right now on every air strip, there's 5 guys sitting in a fighter just waiting for a shutdown. This will not be the case after this war until the next update war. Like activity will go down as it always does. I mean,
activity is all plummeted. Have you seen the player count?
Activity is already going down from excessive burnout. The next war will start 3 days after this one is done. Like, this will be the next one. Like, air can do whatever they want. Like, paratrooper airplanes will completely annihilate backlines, assuming there will be partisans playing the game.
It's
because
very tough.
again,
Dude.
break.
I really think unless a lot of changes happen, this is having a very bad taste in a lot of players' mouths. And the thing is, like, no one's in fucking disagreement, Wardens or collies, because it's all fucking bad. Like,
it just changed everything. It's like power crept everything, right? Like, you will never get if your storm cannon is not dry, when bombers unlock, it will never get dry. Same for everything else. RSCs still are useful, but are exceptionally niche right now. All naval assets on both factions are basically dead unless you kill all the tier 2 runways. And the funny thing is, in my personal opinion, the only reason that Wardens are in the situation we are right in is because we won we won the war over the airstrips, just making them wet, right? And then you have 48 hours of breathing room. Our navy can play again. All of a sudden it works. All of a sudden you get killing these tier 2 runways and denying the enemy any kind of bomber support is super strong.
yeah,
And
that's where it's
if you-
also runways.
And the other issue is, if you boil it down to only 3 runways in the backline, if those runways die, bro, it's over. You get put on the cuck share so fast.
Well, but the
Like-
thing is, that's so much harder to pull off. That going and killing
I mean-
Calakai, Red River, and Akurthia, speaking Basin and Howl, like, you have to go through so much more. And I'm talking about
Yeah, but
like
but it's
doubling
worth it.
or
Like,
even
if you're-
tripling the price.
But if you have the range, it's worth it. You sacrifice 6 or 8 bombers, they are wet. You cannot take off anymore. That's it. Your faction cannot provide any kind of close air
Right,
support
but again,
for the next 48
you're
hours.
also making it to where they have to run X amount farther distance with taps and intel and fighters in almost every region. You're not going to have the same outcome with your bombers stalling every single push, right? Like, you only have 3 runways. No matter what the deal is that we're talking about, you're suffocating the amount of bombers that can be spammed on every front. You know
You
what I
don't
mean?
actually. Not
I
really,
think you
because
would.
all you do is you just overload the airport, because there's like your travel time is exceptionally long as well. You just have a lot of bombers in constant transit. And those 3 airports, you want to kill yourself before you operate from those, because there will be like 50 bombers on them. Unless you like quadruple the size of those runways, it wouldn't even work to begin with. Like, bombers are too cheap as well. I mean, we can talk about a lot of stuff. Like, everyone, at least on the popular sides, right? Everyone wants everything to be cheaper. I don't know. I see as many planes as I saw on Death Branch, and I don't know about Legendary or so on. Like, you guys probably have the same experience as us. We are swimming in rares. Rares are
Yeah.
not rare. They are common materials right now. Like,
We're-
as I said, the only bottleneck we have is sulfur.
Mhm.
That's it.
Our bottleneck right now is coal because we're in Origin.
Fair.
We don't have a coal field. So
Fair enough. Yeah,
so
same.
so we have to bring in coal from Sable, Westgate, and Stemma or Rip Stemma. So our secret stash of coal is fucked. But the problem for us is rares is not a problem. I'm not even joking. I'll probably say this outright. I think we're floating 9,000 rares right now.
Yeah, easy. We also 200. We have 200 alloys
Yeah.
in the seaport, and we can't use them. We have nothing. Like, it's yeah.
Look
same.
at these
We
fucking
have,
Clapman talking, man,
like,
holding all the rares.
Hey, hold on.
yeah, but you can't
Cockface.
do anything with it. It's
I had-
coke, right?
I have
It's
300 alloys on my pad right now. Like, it's.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not even
coke.
joking.
Coke is
So
limiting, which is manpower,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's mainly manpower that is always lacking. You need people
Yeah.
to farm the coal and to drive the trains is one of the limiting factors. And the other one for us specifically is HE meds. Because of
Yeah.
150s, bombs, because, I mean, bombs are nice and strong and so on, but if you consider, like, yeah, I don't know. You cannot use them to saturate concrete at the front. It's too expensive, in my personal opinion. But yeah.
We literally got a message from our regiment leader. Literally, he was like scooping a single salvage field yesterday. He cleared it himself because his usual Logi things. He literally got like 400 or 500 rare medals from
Yeah,
one
it's
field.
insane.
One
It's
field.
insane. Yeah,
rares is no longer a problem in the game, and I think the devs are probably gonna look at the numbers and be like, well, it's disproportionately balanced, and they're probably going to reduce the rare drop rate again, and we're probably not going to get sledgehammers on day one again. I highly doubt that's going to be a thing because it immediately accelerated the war towards spamming scouts because you get sledges day one. It's like people started stockpiling armats for scouts. That's why there was such a big
scout invasion.
Yeah, well, not just scout invasion, but that's why there was so much drama at the start of the war over like, oh, the collie scout gets outturned by the Warden one because of a speed difference, and oh my god, the devs changed a number that no one really knows the significance of that number on a spreadsheet at all. But but the problem is the reason why people had so much outrage of it is not because there was like 1 or 2 or 3 scouts per front. It was like 10, 20 scouts because guess what? We got sledgehammers day one. Because it was prototypes, we were scooping components day one, and we have nothing to spend armats on, and ain't nobody's gonna go and spend armats making armored cars during the airborne update. That didn't happen. Everyone went and made scouts. So when the fights eventually broke out, it was literally like 20 scouts versus 20 scouts, and that's where the really, really like small niche differences in scout PvP combat had some differentiating opinions on it. So I think once all of that shit's gonna, if Dev takes away Sledgehammer's day one and they take down the rare alloy bonus that we're getting right now, I'm telling you right now, the incredibly niche small complaints about scout balance and water fighter balance, all of that's gonna go out the window because no one's really gonna care because they're gonna be a lot less of a niche tool to play with.
Yeah, especially if you consider how willingly everyone throws away scouts right now. It's still 80 armats. Like, I mean, at least on Warden's side, that's like, I don't have the numbers in my head, but it's like 70% of an outlaw or something. You wouldn't throw away an outlaw like you throw away scouts right now. And it's because everyone is swimming in components.
Yep.
Like, it's a non-factor. Like, no one does vegan PC meds anymore because all the new islands as well, so many component fields that no one farms. Everyone can solo pick up like an entire iron ship full of comms. It's whatever.
Yeah, we've been using blast furnace all war, and we're
same,
in Origin.
Same.
Yeah. So that's just whatever.
Logi nerd talk aside, if they don't fix the current state of the game by next war, if they don't start to address these things, the game's population the game's population is gonna take a nosedive because people are just leaving the game in droves right now. It ain't just the war burnout like we usually see. It's part of it, but also so many people came back to Foxhole, expected a fun experience. People got met with bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. You lost a good amount of people Siege Camp with that update. That
People
was a
say
big,
that every time,
big oof.
though. People say that every time, and the
This
average player
was the
numbers go
dude,
up and
I've
up.
never seen the player counts being so high. It's even higher than Naval Update, right? Even higher, but it went so low so quick compared to any other update in the past.
I mean, there
I've
was also
never seen
queues.
it.
And
Yeah, but
my 2 cents on it, I think still like 1.0 release was the highest peak, if I remember correctly, before this one. And I also think that a lot of people that quit Foxhole years ago came back. And I
yeah,
don't want to disrespect those people, but I think the game was not theirs years ago. They came back, and I think they got infuriated by all the stuff they don't know, right?
But
Like there's people
I'm
that
constantly
hated
infuriated, and I'm for back then.
I'm addicted. I'm in the rabbit hole, man. Like I'm deep down. Like it's for me, it's the best game ever made. And the only thing I'm getting infuriated about at this point is that I always think you could do things better, faster, but it still outcompetes every other game that I'm playing in terms of everything. I don't know. But that's just a personal side note, right? And I also think that the toxicity, like a lot of people are just very attached to this game, right? Like a lot of people really, really like this game, and that's why some people get so
I guess if you
exceptionally
take enough,
infuriated.
I guess if you take enough cock and ball torture, you eventually get used to it and start to like it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you develop a kink as well, right? Like who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know,
fucking
dude.
hell, man.
I'll
Maybe
speak on my personal behalf. Like, I've never fucking felt the way I do about this game. I literally was forcing myself to play yesterday. Like,
Oh.
genuinely, I was so fucking mad yesterday. I got stream sniped twice. I'm a streamer. I deal with it. I don't have enough people in the sky with mass quitting. I don't have enough people in the sky. I can't go play in my dive bomber because I'll just get fucking shit on by the seaplane. I got shot down, and then I literally had to play infantry on a front that we were just undermanned, getting like shit faced. I literally had to force myself to stay on. It was not a fun experience. I have 4,500 hours in this fucking game, and I was forcing myself to play because I didn't want to be a hypocrite, and I told people to stay on. I genuinely was not. I'm not having fun. Like on a frontline basis, it's literally just not fun. And you can say anything about what's fair and bad, but like genuinely to tell you what's fun and not, as a frontline guy, majority of the time, and Cockface can tell you too, it's just not fun on the front, dude. Like, it's not. It's really not. It's every push you have.
Slightly differ.
Well,
I beg to slightly
I don't know,
differ.
bro.
There is late war. The only exception, late war, right now when the Bolognials are collapsing once again, right? This is where all the stupid squad stockpiles and squad storages are getting released, and you have thousands of tanks. In Bass alone, we have 1,000 tanks to just throw at the enemy. You pull one with 2 shells, you rush at the enemy, go again. You don't give a shit. This is the best part of Foxhole. This is the best moment to be on Fox because you don't care about anything. Take a tank, yeet it, do whatever the fuck you want.
Guys, I'm sorry to put this out there. You guys really need to fucking play in a coalition because it's like it's like that for us.
I am in a coalition. What are you talking about?
No.
No. If you have equipment, if you have
if you're
equipment
having a
loss,
fucking like if you don't have infinite tanks, that is a load. You have like shitty Logi players. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Yeah,
like if losing equipment is one of your concerns at any stage in the war, you can never go full hard. Like if I have to concern myself a lot about losing bombers, I could not. Like as of right now, I'm frontlining every time I play this game, and since bombers unlocked, I'm probably 6 to 8 hours in a bomber per day right now, and just wreak havoc. I can't do anything else. I don't want to. I'm not touching tanks in the current state. Like, I don't say the name that I really like that they gave it, but I think it's TOS, so we will not do it. But with dive bombers on the front, I'm not touching tanks outside of something that is necessary, like if you want to set something on fire, you do it. But outside of that, I'm not touching tanks anymore. I'm just flying bombers. For me, it's fun. You can consider that frontlining. I don't know, but I stopped touching infantry after day one. I always did. Always, like I play this game now for 4 years, I stopped enjoying infantry after day 1 very, very early. It's just not my thing. Personally speaking.
You know, I had the contrary
never was good.
experience. I had the contrary
Oh,
experience.
okay.
I love fucking tanks. The reason why I'm not on planes is because I've tried doing planes once. I'm luckily having a coalition, otherwise I wouldn't even be able to make a fighter, right? But I've done plane once. I wanted to make it, and then I realized before the small parts and all the cock and ball torture about moving a train, because of course you cannot put it in a flatbed for whatever fucking reason. You can only put 2 parts on a single pallet, right? You cannot mix the engine and the small parts. There's all this cock and ball torture, right? Why the fuck would I do all that stuff to be able to for 2 hours of work to get in a single fighter, only for me to like maybe crash and die after like 10 minutes of using it? Why would I not instead just pick a Falcon and fuck shit up? You know, get behind a BT and stuff like that. I have the complete other experience than you, man. It's
That's
just not
unfortunate.
worth it.
I am,
Yeah,
as I said,
like I
right,
said,
I
the
lost more
amount of
planes
work
to
it
bugs
takes
than
to
anything
assemble
else,
it.
right? Like that's the
The
advantage
amount
of
of work it
bombers. You
takes
have the
to assemble it.
bombardier. Like, yeah, you get used to it. It goes faster. I mean, the assembly goes quite fast if you use this crane.
It still
tricks.
is cock and ball torture, man. I don't like cock and ball torture. I'm an old school guy.
Oh yeah, I
mean-
get that. But then you also don't like facilities, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck no.
Yeah, okay. But the game is changing, right? Like, I'm not saying the game is changing for everyone to enjoy. Like, I don't have an issue with facilities. I don't like this 5 times Q stuff because I think it removed a lot of the skill expression between good and bad facilities. Now you just have bad designed ones, but the output is still insane. I don't know. The game is changing. It's also going in a state like everyone, by the way, that asks for AI, it will not happen. Not because I am against it, because Dev Vision is clearly going in a different direction. They want players to counter players. And every design decision they made throughout the past 3 years is very direct that AI, the further the war progressive, is getting less and less relevant, right?
Yeah, and that's horrible though,
And
because it
I
just
hated it with
incentivizes
naval.
PvP. It incentivizes low pop PvE. Genuinely.
It does, and you can never balance pop because if one, for example, you guys, all 3 of you are colonial, but maybe we agree, maybe we do not agree.
That remains to
To
see.
my knowledge, until the lock off happened, I would say pop was balanced. If there's peaks to certain time zones, right? Like EU, prime time, wardens, Q every hex, super, super hard. But I would still say that colonials, if everyone logs in, still outpop wardens in NA and Asia time zones, specifically Asia. Like that's really rough for us.
We have the Asians.
And it always depends on what time zone you play, on how hard you feel like getting fucked by outpop. As a warden playing an Asian time zone, you would say low pop PvE as well. Collies say it in I also think that for colonials, right? In EU times it feels harsh. In A times I would say it depends who logs in. Like it's this and that, right? Who logs out first. In Asian time zones, it's a clear advantage for collies, I would say, just because of CGC alone.
You mean to tell me it's a perspective thing, and it's just me
I think so.
hating
Like,
the impression that.
And at this stage, like since we rolled everything, I would say like as soon as we took Foxcatcher back, every discussion we have about pop since Foxcatcher is nullified because now people log off. As soon as people log off and quit the war, it's not a pop issue anymore. Pop issue, and are people actually like, is it actually unbalanced on a factional state overall? You can talk about this as long as the war is actually going on. As soon as people log off on one side, it goes like this every time. As soon as one faction has the feeling they lost the war and they start logging off, the pop will always shift in that one direction. It always is the case.
What I don't get is people logging off when you go back to starting conditions. Like,
I don't get it either, but it's also like I don't wanna find a reason for that. It's not my call to make. Like it's not my faction that logged off. It also happened
Yeah,
to
but it's
Wardens
mine.
maybe. I know, and I can imagine how frustrating it is because I still think it's absolutely winnable. No critical MPF is lost. Like my personal take is always the war is not lost until one of the
Well,
critical MPFs
it's
in the backline is taken.
Kind of what you
Mhm.
said though, Graf. You're in a bomber for 6 to 8 hours, and we can't get in bombers for fucking 6 to 8 hours. Our shit.
Yeah, but
gets
I also know live.
mashed.
I also know live to get you into that
But
state.
again,
won the
we
Storm
all
Cannon
have
race.
lives, right? Like that's the inherent issue. What I'm talking about is we
Everyone
sit
except
here-
Graf has a life here.
Well, no, but my inherent issue with the game right now is not that we have a problem with you having a life. It's foxholes don't have lives. It's the problem that I can't defend my shit while you're online and I'm off, right? And I can't depend on
Yeah,
people.
but that's Foxhole.
Right,
That's
but
Foxhole.
then
If you
you
can't
can't.
take that, don't play it.
But that's the thing. They don't play it, and then you get a one-sided win, and then people that stay logged on just eat shit and shovel shit, and it's not a
Yeah,
fun
but if you
gameplay
can't take,
balance.
but if you can't take that, don't play Foxhole, don't play Rust, don't play any of those persistent games. If that's something that infuriates you, it's not the
It
right
doesn't
game for you. And,
infuriate me. It's just the simple point of the game is incentivizing offline PvE, which makes sense. It's Rust. You hit them when they're not strong. It makes the most sense. You have the most success.
it's time zones.
But then
No,
when
it's time
people
zones.
and
There's
that
people
too,
just
that's
playing.
that again, right? You're not wrong. But again, when you start to see this more and more and more, and you can get way more done with bombers and have way more effectiveness in the off time zone, when people log off, you want to fight by yourself because no one wants to sit there and have their shit get rolled overnight. Like if I was in Foxcatcher, I wouldn't have quit, but if I put everything I had up there and that was my whole base, why the fuck would I log back on?
Yeah, but that's a personal decision. I don't
Right.
think
Wait
that's
a
something the
second,
devs
isn't
can. That's nothing the devs will ever be able to fix. Because
Wait a
if you
second.
buff AI, oh yeah,
Sorry,
okay,
go
continue.
on.
Yeah, go.
Let me know. I'm gonna call Bear out. So finish what you're saying. I'm gonna call Bear out on something. Coming.
Also,
Go, please.
yeah, I just think devs will never be able to fix that. I also think they should never fix it because that's what PvP persistent MMO is all about. And I don't know, like I don't think that you have to fix the game for everyone. A game for everyone is a game for no one, in my personal opinion. And it's you don't have to like the vision and the game is going to, right? Like you don't have to like that it goes into more and less AI things. You don't have to like all of that, but it doesn't change the fact that the game is going there, and it's very unfortunate for everyone we lose along the way. But player numbers are going up. Average player numbers are going up since I started playing the game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's,
I mean, yeah, but it just lost a whole bunch of people right now with the update. You cannot deny that. This has nothing to do with the burnout.
as with every but you had the highest peak. Obviously, you have the highest fall afterwards. It's an update war. Like 1.0 is also Mount Everest, up and down, very steep. And then you have during the summer months, you have a slow, you have up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. Then the next update comes, and you have small peaks with whatever intermediate updates we might get, right? We will see. Like I think, like I heard people saying this game is dead, it's dog shit. Everyone will log off for 3 updates in a row now. People said it about Facility. People said it about Navy. People say it now about Airborne. The game is going up, and activity seems to be the same all over. Like it's the same people that always log off. The first major log off is after artillery unlocks. Then the second log off, my facility guy, legendary, can probably confirm that, is probably 1 or 2 days before tier 3 facilities unlock. All the lab facilities start decaying in the backline. That's when the guy that just joined this game for the first time burns out on M-subs, more or less. That's around that corner that they usually always log off every time. And the next burnout is that people that cannot handle late war. Late war is a slugfest. It's a material fest. It's about who starts logging off first. Like we were at Weathering Halls, and now we are back in Endless and Cluster. Like, just don't log off. Fight every day with all of your stockpiles until it's over, and you do that until your enemy logs off. And yes, I did it with bombers, and bombers have one exceptional advantage about everything else in this game. I need 4 hobos. No, that's not it. The manpower leverage on bombers is absolutely insane. I need a bomber. I have a bombardier. I have a pilot. I have 2 fighters that escort me at every given time. I'm not going out without 2 fighters because I get suplexed. Everything shit happens to me. I need fighters on my tail that know how to play the game. If I do that, 2 guys can dehusk every tier 1 push BB. I can kill every single artillery, and I can kill AA that might wants to threaten me. The only time that I ever also ran into AA that actually was threatening was 404 in Sanctum. Those guys know how to aim. Like, they fuck up your cockpit instantly. They know how to aim, and then you're done. Like, AA can be effective, but it's also like a skill thing, right? It's the same with fighters. But yeah,
Graf, what's your opinion? What's your opinion about collies not being able to launch a single bombers because all the runways are wind bombed?
You lost the Storm Cannon race. Get fucked. Like, unfortunately, it's just it's an escalation of the storm cannon race. It's the same that we usually had with storm cannons back in the days. They removed the storm cannon race. Now it's airstrip race. You guys had 24 hours advance in bombers on us, and somehow your tier 2 runways are down. Like, lock in. I don't know. Suicide your bombers, make suicide runs on enemy bombways, deny the enemy their bombers, and they're fucked. It's inherently toxic game design. It's storm cannon race all over again, but I don't make the rules. I just play by the rules.
I'm gonna speak on this though, Graf. That's
a lot of you people.
Colonials did try to bomb the runways.
You did it. You had us on our back leg. You fucked up the entire east.
had
Sea Passage, Vipers, Clan
in
Set,
my
Morgans,
coalition. In my coalition, we had three
Godscraft
bombers.
and Tempest, all wet, and you guys somehow allowed us to dry those runways. Since those runways went dry, that's it in the east for the collies.
In my coalition,
wait, one more thing. Procession dried for 3 minutes, and we took off with 3 bombers to kill Umbral. You guys have to log in. Like,
in my coalition, there was 3 bombers that tried to do a bomb run. They made it to the bomb run, but one guy DC'd at the fucking border right before. And that's cost us literally a bombing advantage in that lane. Because we never got the runway after that. Just because of a DC.
Yeah, I get it. You need 3 bombers. But if you have a DC, like, why don't you have a tail gunner that can take over? Control 4. That's your solution. If your pilot DCs, Bombardier takes over.
It comes down to this, dude. I've been off all week, and I've been out of Heartlands, and we went to hit Lynn, and there's some absolutely gromless fucking minges that sit there in fighters 24/7, and they put fucking CVs and trucks on their fucking runway, and you only have a split
up the runway.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded.
Okay,
that's retarded.
I give you a clip.
But hold on, hold on.
It's game design.
No, it's not.
That's
so dumb.
You put trucks. You put flatbeds on your BBs to avoid. No, but Berg, you put flatbeds on your BB to avoid them dying to artillery. It's called armoring up your runway. You do the same shit.
Also, 404 covered their tier 2 runway in containers. I'm not even joking.
Like, I think it's all bad.
It was literally the entire runway.
I think it's horrible.
Covered in like.
But
2 to
point
3,000
being, we tried multiple attempts to go hit Lynn, and we would get suplexed every fucking time. I can show you every single bombing run we did. We got suplexed 3 fucking times. They had shit on the runway every single fucking time. Yeah. That is not us not trying. Yeah. We tried with 9 bombers.
I give you a link.
It's
this
ass.
Is the heaviest. I give you a link. 3 bombers, heavily armored up, Allots Bite. We killed it like 1 hour ago. It's super easy. Like, you need to log in. Like, what you are complaining about is that you don't get a login, that you don't get a handout. No, I'm sorry, but you are angry about the enemy playing the game. Like, you put shit on your runway to prevent bombs from instantly hitting it. You do that. We do that since years with everything else. On storm cannons, there's always 15 MPTs on top of the storm cannons to make sure that they actually get wet. We put flatbeds on our tier 1 BBs to avoid RT killing it. We do it with everything. Why is it all of a sudden wrong with a runway? It's just a strategic asset.
What I dislike is like you saying you as like in sense of like every single colonial is the same. This dog shit update is making the worst fucking design design flaws, making people do these kinds of dumb exploits and dumb shit because it's needed.
It always happens in update wars. Every sweat lord always logs in for the update war.
If you don't pay attention,
you have to pay attention. But you have to.
No, let me finish. If you don't pay attention,
it's able as well. If you don't like it, go to
guys one at a time.
You get into this slippery slope, right? This dumpster fire of a slope where you go more and more brainwashed factionalism, or like, no, but he did it. Instead of like taking a step back, touching grass, right, and realizing both sides do it. Both sides are bad because not of each other's side, because of the game design, and you should not be fucking going for clubbing the other faction, man.
Okay. I will go with you. So if
you see what I mean?
Up their runway, so if I see 4-4 armoring up their runway, instead of doing it myself to get a tier 2 runway, I should be the better man and allow collies to kill my runway again and letting your runway dry. Is that to interpret? Is that what am I getting this right?
No, we should complain to the devs until they change it. Where vehicles on runways should literally blow up, or anything on the runway over 2 minutes should blow up.
Big Bear, no. You now watch the YouTube link I posted? It is armored up. 80% of the runway is armored. You just bring in more bombers. It doesn't matter. It's not that deep. Like, you can
Bro,
take
it's
off
an
with
ass
fighters
game
and dive
design.
bombers nonetheless.
I'll never
Yeah, but
agree
it
with you
always-
that this
Is not an ass game design. I will never agree that it's like just because we have to do it because that's the only way it can be done. Like that's retarded, bro. I'd rather fucking lose the war with like literally. I said this when people were armoring up Lynn. I would rather lose the war and have dignity than be a little cock hard, sweaty fucking nerd in my room armoring up the runway, bro. I do not care about the game that much.
Same for me,
I will
man. Same for
never
me.
fucking care that like lock in, bro, lock in. I play the game for like 8 hours a fucking day, bro. I do lock in. I play as hard as I can. I'm not gonna go to the extent of what I personally think is exploiting. That's dumb. I think it's stupid. I'm never
Exactly.
gonna fucking agree with that. I don't agree with that sweaty gameplay mentality. If I agreed with that, I would just buy an alt and go watch your fucking place from the home island or go get a radio and fucking like at what end does the sweatiness and what is fair like extend? Like at what extent is
it's
it
easy.
fair?
It's easy.
You know what I mean?
One is breaking TOS, the other one is not.
Yeah, but
Buying
people
it
do it.
ground to get. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Burke
It
but that's
says-
the
breaks TOS.
point.
What
It's
Burke
gross.
says.
That's gross. No
It's
one
exactly
should
the
play in a
point.
game like that. We should blame the devs for horrible game design rather than
Exactly.
get nastier and nastier fucking gameplay and be able to build a toxic community. Fuck that. I'd rather not be a
Exactly.
part of
That's-
that community. Fuck that.
Exactly. Big Bear spawn on the point. That's what I was
I mean,
trying
there's
to say
Charlie
right
server,
there.
boys. If you don't like sweatiness and tryhards, there's always Charlie. You can
Oh my
see club
God,
over
bro.
there if you like. If you would.
I mean,
rather
I
have
might
that
like
way.
it more. It might be more of a genuine what the devs vision it, not fucking
Might be
nasty
might be.
sandbox gameplay exploiting. Maybe.
But it's a sandbox, and you complain about the other side playing the sandbox better, right? And you guys, by
No.
the way, you guys nearly, like, you had it as the verge of getting fucked. Like, we nearly lost the entire East because the closest airfield was Howell, and someone slept at the wheel and did not send 3 more bombers to kill the red runways. And that's it. At least for the East.
I can't speak for like the whole group, dude. I don't know what happened on the East, but I'll tell you,
And all I'm saying is also
we bombed everywhere we
this-
can on the fucking West
No,
Coast,
I'm not trying
and
to
we
disregard
got
your effort.
fucking diddled, bro. Like,
I also don't try to disregard your personal effort. It's just, I know a lot of people think that V is a bunch of cheaters, but V Discord is where every single Warden vet coordinates. You have no idea how many Reggies and how many individual people are logging into coordinating to fuck every one of your airways. Like, we have every time zone logged in with exact timers of all of your runways when they will get dry again. And everyone makes sure that your runways will never be dry again for this entire war. It's just a bunch
Exactly.
of guys playing the MMO the way it is supposed. You coordinate with everyone else. You don't care what regiment they play. You don't care what time zone they play. And you coordinate with everyone in your entire faction. Like, it's just cooperation peak. This is what this game is all about. You cooperate with everyone. If your cooperation ends at the border of your lane, if it ends at the border of your regiment or at your Discord, that's why you lose. You have to cooperate with everyone. If he's Russian, Chinese, who fucking cares? You coordinate with everyone because you all want to win.
Well, whenever
And
I
if you
try to,
don't
they
want-
don't speak English, so I mean.
Then you use
you-
Google Translate.
Hold up. I want to step in here because we do that. So
I agree.
So Seoul is a multi-time zone, multicultural coalition. So we do that. So we're EU, AU, and North America time zone. We primarily play with so we're a coalition of 8 regiments, right? We have air, so we have Russian guys. We also have Phoenix, also Russian guys. We have dudes from we've been playing with 7HP this war. They're not part of Seoul, but we were collaborating with 7HP, so they're South American. And we don't really run into language barriers. I'm sorry to say this, guys. Like the Russian dudes, specifically the Russian dudes that we collaborate with, so Aaron, Phoenix, and them, we literally just Google Translate. Like we type out like, oh, we need to do a thing. We type it. We Google Translate.
At
to
least
Russian,
the officers.
Yeah,
At
yeah. we
minimum,
just
the
copy it.
officers. That always works.
Yeah. We copy in, and all their officers speak English. So I do think that the game could use more like callouts and more specific like in-game decision making, like squad-based decision making things that auto translate to players as they needed. But I also I'm in complete agreement with Graf in this. Like, this game is collaborate or die. If you don't collaborate, you die.
I also want to mention, like,
Yeah.
I'm in the East. Like, my lane officially that we adopted at the start of the war is silicon weathered, more or less. That's our operation. I was the one of the bombers that killed Cinderwick. Like, we rotate the entire map with the entire Warden bomber vet stack. We rotate the entire map. The same with DNA. Like, they're constantly rotating wherever you need vet pop at that given moment and where you see an opening. You rotate, you cooperate, you get bank rolls from everyone on that lane. We need bombs. Here, take these 600 bombs. And then you fuck up that hex. They just value close air support like that. Like, I mean, our close air support is the bomber, right? But which is arguably maybe, but that's a different topic. But yeah, you just rotate.
Yeah.
Like, you
And I mean,
rotate and you kill all the runways all over. Like, I killed Auschwitz airport, we killed Heartlands, we killed Umbrel. We are sitting in Silicon, you just rotate the bomber over. You only need 35 bombs, and if you lose the bomber, it's whatever. Runway is wet, you have 48 hours to come back.
and
I mean,
when we won 126, the longest war, it was because of that level of collaboration on the west hand side as well. The only reason why Saul was able to get into Callums is because we got support from Som, we got support from 404th, we got support from T3C. They literally played how the Warden vet stack is playing, guys. Like, I'm sorry to say it, Graf is right. The moment
as well.
I have no problem with collaboration,
the moment you
guys.
stop. No, but the moment those boundaries of restrictions of like non-collaborative like stuff goes away is the moment the faction starts winning as well. It starts a snowball, and unfortunately, but to be fair, and this is why I'm gonna push back against you, Gav. Unfortunately, there is just some things in the balance of the game right now that makes it easier to do that level of collaboration on the Warden side than the Collie side. And that's not just like brain rot. There is just some stuff that it's easier for Warden gear, certain Warden gear, to make it so trivial to supply it so that it gets to the point where every single player, when they get into a hex, is playing with the maximum amount of like damage and potential that they can do over the other side.
What comes up to your mind, if I may ask?
Legendary, I think you've kicked the hornet's nest in the chat.
I know I'm gonna kick the hornet's nest. I know I'm gonna kick the hornet's nest. But
no, go for it. It's okay. I mean, everyone can have their own opinions, right?
Okay, so look, there are, when it comes down to like, it's I feel like it's every part of interacting with Warden gear versus Collie gear makes it incredibly difficult to get people to motivate it to go one step up. The clear-cut example that I can go with right now, because I'm very passionate about this, is Naval. I really want Collies to get more into Naval.
No, Naval is dead, man. Naval is dead.
Okay, just hear me out. You asked for it.
Okay.
Hear me out, right?
Yeah.
It took the devs 2 years to get our gunboats reworked twice, and the moment now that we have the balanced, symmetric gunboat, that our gunboats can now actually fight frigates, the devs fucked us again by giving a scout plane that counters literally everything up until the destroyer. It's just really annoying.
Can we talk about the AA boat getting instantly countered by the scout plane?
Let Legendary finish.
Let me just finish. I'll let you guys like yap on it, but I want to make one point here. It's incredibly easy to say, yeah, but you guys we just need to collaborate more and you need to share resources more. The difficulty comes in when the resources that we share on the Collie side are just factually less effective. When you're capped at the number of players that get into the server, that means that what they have on their player character and what they're driving matters the most, because you're playing with what you have on the server slot, not
I agree.
with what you're sitting.
I agree. Yeah.
So for me,
but what is the gear? Come on, we need to rage bait here a bit more. We need to fire up.
But okay, right. So first of all, it took the devs 2 years to give us a gunboat, which is the entry level naval asset to get into the game, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but they fixed it.
I know what you're saying.
Let me just finish. Yeah. but you still need it to fight large ships. You can't fight large ships with striders. You can't fight large ships with sombras. I tried. Okay, I tried. You can't, right? You have to take if there's a frigate, you have to take a
Indeed.
gunboat to go fight it. The problem
Minimum,
is
yeah.
yes, the problem right now is if you take out a gunboat as a colonial, your gunboat is dead the moment you leave the seaport because the fucking scout plane kills it. And then you go, okay, well, then you need AA. Cool. Let me take out a Sombra. The scout plane kills the Sombra in 2 runs. Or you fly the scout plane below 15 meters. It cannot hit. You cannot hit the scout plane when it flies below 15 meters in the Sombra. Trust me, I've tried. So the problem I have right now is if I'm a new player and I want to enjoy the game with the least amount of like headache and effort required, my recommendation that I've been giving to players right now is, dude, just co-play Warden because all the gear is easier to play with. It's less hassle, and it gets to the point where the veteran players have so much shit that they just give shit away because they have better higher tier gear to play with. Like for example, Graf, you just said that the only thing that you've been playing in has been bombers. Cool. Where's your stack of outlaws going? Is your regiment playing with it? Probably. But there's also a high likelihood that if someone comes to you and says, hey, can I have some outlaw? You'll probably give them 5 and you won't bat an eyelid. Because you don't care about it because you're playing
No. I'm
because
not
you're playing on
bankrolling
the
guys
higher
I
tier
don't know.
gear.
No. I'm not bankrolling randoms. I only bankroll vets.
Okay, whatever.
L-
But
l-
still. But
In my opinion, randoms don't move fronts. It's always the vets and veggies.
Yeah.
I'm not bankrolling randoms.
Okay, fair enough. All right, but the point I'm saying is this was one example, right? I think in every other aspect of just in general, the gear that you have on the Warden side tends to be a lot less effort required to use. So for example, most of the Warden like mid to late game weapons tend to one-shot kill you.
Which one?
There's like 2 weapons that do that on the collie side.
Which one?
It is the Dusk, if you're really fucking lucky, and the Fashina. Those are the only 2. On the Warden side, it is the Polaroid shotgun. It one-shots you. I literally submitted a bug report yesterday of a pillory decrewing an entire gunboat from fucking 20 meters away. Okay? So there's something wrong with the Polaroid because it just one-shot kills everything. Then you have the Booker, which is still fucking strong. You now have the Alto in single shot mode that you either die instantly to being hit from mid to long range. Sorry, short to medium range, or you get staggered and you die from mid to long range. The Alto in single shot mode is fucking bananas. Then you have the Raka.
So is the Catena.
No, what? Wait, the Katina, the auto rifle.
The other rifle, yeah.
By the way, the Alto is impossible to one-shot.
That's
In semi-automatic, it's 63.
Yeah, but then you also have the Hangman that 2 taps, and then you have the Rekka.
The Hangman can also one-shot, like the Volta.
So you have like 6 fucking weapons on the. So if you load in as a Warden player who just needs to like grab something and go fight in the front, if you grab any of these 6 weapons, you can literally have the most ammo efficient loadout on the infantry side of the game. And now you layer on top of.
I think that's wrong. But please, I just want to make sure you use objectively as if you are absolutely correct. I just highly recommend you to change that word to subjectively. Maybe you are very convinced of your own opinion, but I highly disagree. I don't know.
All I can tell you from my personal
like
experience
someone telling me the Alto is busted while I have to witness Dusks is a joke. And the Booker with the accuracy nerf is still more accurate than the Fuskina. But it's also just a glorified Fuskina.
Graf, all I can tell you is that whenever I see collies fighting wardens with Altos and Bookers on the battlefield, when the collies kill the warden, they instantly just drop their weapon and race for whoever can get the weapon first from the body.
Yeah, and half of the wardens run around with Catenas and with Dusks. Your argument goes both ways. You guys are just very deep. You guys are very, very deep in the colonial faction. I am very, very deep in the warden faction. I can tell you, if I now look at any vet Discord and I ask them for their favorite weapons, the majority of those guys will either mention Argenti or Katina or something like that. Because those are the only remaining weapons that can actually shadow dance. which is the only amount of skill expression you have. Outside of that, whoever hits the first shot wins. Like all of this other shit is cope. Fiddler has the same issue the Dusk has.
I mean, to be honest, fighting is not what it used to be. Like the hit track has been
Yes, it's
busted
not.
for a long time
It's
now.
not. You always have to have full accuracy aim in since the infantry update. All of this dog
Yeah.
shit is gone anyway. Also, the pillory
To
is
be
strong, I
fair,
agree,
yeah.
but it's also short range, and every time it
To be fair,
one-shots, it also lets you down 5 times for not doing any damage.
to be fair, you cannot compare Foxhole to like how it was 3-4 years ago when you actually needed skill as an infantryman. Now it's just a spray and pray for the most part, right?
Yeah, and then
There
you
is a
have
couple of
hit rack issues, and then you have lag, and then you have like certain stutters.
lag,
and
the hit rate issues. Yeah, absolutely.
Your hits don't connect to begin with. Infantry combat has
The
been shit since a long time.
projectile is not loading. The projectile is not loading where the
Yeah.
you know.
All of that shit. Infantry, in my opinion, infantry gear balance, in all honesty, in the grand scheme of things, is irrelevant. We can talk about inf anti-tank, we can talk about inf APVE, but I think infantry against infantry, none of those performance factors win you a front. You don't win or lose a front because the enemy has sniper rifles. I'm not saying it's not infuriating to get one shot by a sniper rifle. And I'm also saying that our one is probably better at what it does. Because you want to have one good shot.
Hold on,
sorry,
let me chip in.
Wait.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but just give me one sec. Give me 1 sec. 1 sec. You say that, but the problem is this is, for the most part, it is a one-sided experience.
I don't think so.
If I just wanted to sniper LARP, you can't do that on the collie side because none of our snipers one-shots.
That's not.
If
Yeah,
I wanted to just
then
play-
you just pick up a warden sniper because apparently they are everywhere, so they should die all the time as well. So you can just pick up that one. Like every time I say the Lunaire's busted, some retard tells me pick up a Lunaire and do it yourself. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. All of our safe houses are full of them.
I don't subscribe to the notion of, oh, a particular weapon is overtuned, therefore the only reasonable response is, oh, just pick up the opposing side and play it. That to me is that's not
That's retarded, man.
That's stupid. I'm sorry, that's just stupid. We can get into the Lunaire versus Cutler debate.
Hold on,
to pieces,
stop,
but,
guys.
But
This is what it boils down
Let me
to.
just finish. No, Bear,
Go ahead.
Bear, let me finish. Let me just finish this point, right? The point that I'm trying to make here is the majority of entry level gameplay experience universally is better on the Warden side because the gear tends to function better if you are playing at server capacity. If you are a one player in a 120 slot, if you're one player in a 120 space server, if you have superior gear, which is either the infantry gear or the tanks or the artillery or the aircraft or anything like that, if you have the better shit, you have a better time when you play the game.
Yeah, and you think you have the better shit, and I say we don't.
Well, dog, I see every single Warden vet play with a Booker and Alto. I see every Warden vet play in a tier 3 Outlaw. I see every Warden vet play in a Predator. I see every Warden vet play in a Bomber. It's like, at what point do we go, I wonder if we're playing at maximum capacity that
Legendary.
Okay, come on. Guys, both you guys stop. I've asked to have this mic for a fat minute, and I'm going to get the mic.
Yeah.
So this is my point exactly that I tried to make, and I made this in my point last night. If there is 2 guns and one, this is the Legendary's point in a sense. If you have 2 guns, let's call it gun A and gun B, okay? Gun A has a 5%, let's just call it overall better rating. It's only 5%, it does not matter. Let's even say the person who's holding gun B is better at the game. If you have 1,000 engagements between the two, over a period of time, 1,000 engagements, the gun that is better is going to be more oppressive than the player that is better, because the gear can outperform player. And when you are in a 120 versus 120, if your gear even has a slightly, even if it's 1% over 8 million casualties, it's 8 million. Now, that's obviously split between
guns, ammo, artillery, bombers, fight everything. But if one section, like in 1-to-1, has a 5% increase over the other, that's 5% easier every single time, right? It's death by 1,000 cuts, and that can go for anything. That can go for Lanier, that can go for Cutler, that can go for any single thing in the game. If you have a 5% small advantage number, when it gets exaggerated over the millions and millions of casualties that happen, or the thousands and thousands of casualties that happen over a war, it gets exaggerated. It's not annoying the first 5 times, but when I'm telling you, Graph, like from a personal basis, and I can go pull up my VOD from last night, I literally got gunned down by bookers like 90% of my gameplay. And I had a dusk in my hand every fucking time. Right? Both are super annoying.
When is the last time you played Warden?
What was
to
the
my
war
knowledge,
right
never.
after? Well, no, I've
You
never
told
played
the
Able.
other time you said never.
I've never played Able.
Yeah, but no, Charlie doesn't matter. Who cares about Charlie performance? There's only dogs running around there.
I played
Like
Warden last
literally
I
no
played
one
Warden-
on Charlie knows how to play the game.
I
Well,
played
just
Warden once
because I play Warden on Charlie doesn't mean I can't play with the gear that's on Able, no?
Yeah, but you face idiots. It doesn't matter. if you guys not on a regular basis play the other faction on the tryhard chart, I'm sorry, your opinion is slightly invalidated.
My opinion can be validated because I'm a well-versed veteran and I know how to use things. Just because I'm playing against AI bots on Charlie or AI bots on fucking Able, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? At the end of the day, we all can have opinions, but the whole state of the fact that Legendary is trying to talk about, and one thing that we're gonna agree on or not, whether you have an advantage in gear or not, it gets exaggerated over a duration of time. Now, whether you think it's an advantage or not, or we think it's an advantage or not, that's fine. That's up for verbatim, right? And it's very hard to get colonials and wardens to agree on what's said overpowered shit. But I would encourage you to go look at the stat sheets over every single war that has happened and go look at the win-loss column. Now, does that exactly mean that it's one specific piece of gear winning or losing the war? Well, there are a few statements that I can make that would easily protrude that. One was the Spotha
So you want
update.
handouts? Is
No,
that
no,
correct? You
I don't
handouts?
want. Don't speak for me. Don't put words in my mouth. I don't want handouts.
Ooh la la.
I'm saying go look at the stats. There is a almost 8 gap win column between the two, and if you look at the Spotha, we won almost like it was an easy gimme war, right? When we had the Spotha update, we literally we were rolling concrete with Spothas. You would call that bullshit. We would just, then you get that we'll just lock in. When you have asymmetry gameplay, there's a bunch of bullshit that you have to iron out before things are even, right?
But this war was not one-sided at any given point. Like
no,
1.5 weeks ago, like you guys, I think we are now in lead. You guys, for 85% of this war, were in lead in VPs, and you had us on our back.
right,
we
but
push
look
you-
at the
we
tech
push
and when
you
it
back.
happened. Look
No,
in the
no.
tech and when it happened, though, Graph. We
Yeah,
didn't
late
have
war.
bombers
way
when we
way
hold on.
after, way
But hold
after
on.
everything teched.
We didn't take, if you go look at the time that we took Stiltkin, Weather, and
Yeah.
all this shit, when did we
Yeah.
take all that ground?
Late war, after bombers tagged. You killed Foxcatcher with RSCs.
Right.
Yeah, what's the issue?
So my point and what I'm trying to get at is a majority of the ground is taken only after all the bullshit's come out, right?
That's not true. You took Endless day one. We started with Saltbrook Blue. Clustra, Narthex is neutral. We are not even at starting conditions and your faction locks off. Can we please stop pretending as if this entire thing is a giga equipment issue if one of the faction locks off before we even reach starting conditions of the war? Like Wardens defended Weathering Halls with all what they had. We somehow survived in Port of Rhyme against CGC Onslaught every fucking 5 a.m. EU time. And as soon as we take back our starting territory, we talk about how everything all of a sudden is busted, while we get our skull fucked by 404 Cuff and 1 CMD vet stacks. Those vet stacks locked off, we push, and all of a sudden it's an equipment issue.
Hold up. That's not my argument. That's not.
I know what your argument is. Your argument is valid that this spam faction bullshit doesn't work. That's also why every stat got adjusted. Because the MPT is cheaper and you can get more into the hex. It doesn't work if your pop is limited. The equipment needs to be at least somewhat on the same balance and performance.
Well, that's
because
exactly
you have a
what
player
my
cap, not
argument
equipment
is.
cap.
That's exactly what I was saying, Graf. If you have a 5% increase on any given item over a duration of the war, it's going to fucking matter a lot.
No. It has nothing to do with equipment over performance in a war. It has to do with specifics. The thing is that
Well, then what is that not just saying the exact same thing I just said?
No, because you make it a general statement without the inclusion of the servers, and that's the biggest issue. Because your servers are pop capped, and they will never increase the pop cap or remove it because the engine is not capable of it. So your equipment needs to perform, at least in certain aspects, at least as good as the other. I agree on that. I just don't think it's as outrageous as you guys make it to be.
But
there
okay,
is certain factors. There is certain factors that certain.
But if you don't have to deal with the 5%, then it would,
around.
right? It's always insane to me when you talk about
argument,
it. Though.
So what's your argument? You want like what was it? Which update did it?
So like, hold up, but Graf. Here's my just to dial this back. Here's my argument, right?
Yeah.
If you're, I
get your argument, by the way, Legendary. I think we both agree. Yeah. But I don't see the specific. You have to point out to me the gear which you think is so outrageously overperforming that it makes an actual difference. Because within the scope of asymmetry, you will always have gear that outshines the other gear in specific elements.
Yes. I understand I understand what you're saying. I can point to specific examples. I can point to specific examples. I could probably point for an hour. And this is not me brain rot faction bullshit, because I do swap.
Well,
I
you
do
say
swap
that
factions.
before you say it. I mean,
no, I know, dude. But I do play the side. I do play Warden.
Yeah, but you also play the other side in the backline. Like, I don't try to shit on you for that, because it's a very important part of the faction. But there's a huge difference for not just do you spend time on the front line, but how do you spend it on the front line?
I mostly spend time on the front line as partisan, tanking, artillery. Those 3 roles. I don't sit in the trench. I don't push build. Sure, I don't. There's some things I don't do. I'm fairly sure there's some things that you don't do. Like, for example, you don't play infantry. So for you to say also like, the Booker and etc. is not OVP, but you just said at the start of this podcast, like, you play infantry for the like day 1, day 2, and the moment you can get into a plane or you can get into a thing, you also log off. But that's fair. But the point I'm trying to make is, I also probably disproportionately so interact with a lot of new players. I teach a lot of players how to play the game. A lot of people log on to Foxhole. They go to the Able screen, and there's a big red marker over the Warden side that says, if you click here, you're going to wait forever to play the game. So they tend to pick on the Colonial side. They load into the thing and say, hey, I'm new. How do I play?
Also, not true. Legendary. No, I have to interrupt you. It's not true. Until you guys started logging off, this red screen switched every day. It's not true that for the entire war, Wardens were red.
Okay,
you are right. And that's important, because this war, a lot of people logged in. Like, you have good takes, and then you intertwine them with stuff that is not factually right, and that always undermines your argumentation. It's the same stuff all over. Like,
but dude, let me just finish. Right. On average, the Wardens tend to have a larger pop. Because you guys
certain time zones, yes.
But but dude, you can't have it both of 2 ways. You say that your constant argument is that the Wardens have a better vet retention rate. That's what you always say. Is that wrong? Okay. So that means that if it's a try-hard war, where are all the Warden vets going to go? Are they going to play Collie? Fuck no. They're going to play as Warden. So the majority
of the
loyalists, yes. Yes. But you're saying that Wardens have a better vet retention rate. That means that on average, that means that Wardens are going to have more players, because most of the vets are logging in on to play Warden, right?
More percentage of vets, not more overall pop.
Right, but when when they're new players buy the game on Steam sale, whatever, they pick up the game and they want to play it, most of the time they go play on Colonial. And then it is up to Colonial Logi regiments to teach these people how to play the game a lot of the time, right?
Not Logi regiments. It's up to every regiment. There's a lot
Okay,
of players
sure.
that I know that never touch Logi.
Sure, I get that. But again, the point that I'm saying is I have a vested interest in the new player experience to Foxhole. A lot of vet players don't do that. Some of them might teach new players, but a lot of people go, oh, they changed this one thing because it makes it easier for new players to play in. That's dog shit. They should change it back. For example, the builder update was majority changed because building was a like vet controlled gate kept mechanic in the game, and the devs rolled that back a little bit.
No, there's a lot
Like,
of arcade knowledge that was
right.
used to be involved,
Okay.
like corner cutting. Yeah.
So yes, so I have a vested interest in the new player experience. What do I tell new players when they come up to me and they say, "Hey, I went on the front line, I played for like an hour or two, and the Warden snipers insta kill me every single time. Do I have a collie sniper rifle that does the same?" And then I go,
Yes, quick
I
edge.
have to be no, but okay, right. So I need a facility locked sniper rifle, and they need to wear a
That's called
uniform.
asymmetry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And they need to wear a specific uniform, and they still get outranged by the Raka anyway. So it's, but the thing is you get, so a lot of the times I tell the players and saying, listen, we have stronger aspects in some of our gear, and
unfortunately it's not the sniper.
And the Wardens have stronger aspects in their gear.
Yeah.
The problem is, once it starts getting to the point where the majority of weapons seem to be more lopsided for Wardens, there tends to be a bit of a problem. Now, let me go into this, but now let me go into the specific examples, right? So I gave you specific examples that Warden weapons tend to one-shot a little bit more on infantry. That is just an objective truth. There is just some weapons
start listing
on the
and I
Warden
give you
side.
the counter. Yeah, start listing and I give you the counter.
So
Guys, if I may,
Yeah.
guys, as someone who's also has an interest in teaching new players the ropes, because if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for this lovely community, I wouldn't even be playing Foxhole, because this game has become dog shit, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But I think that this sort of discussion, right, there is what Legendary says, right? This will turn a new player away. But there is also the fact that if they delve too deep into the depths of the Foxhole, they will stumble upon you two clashing out constantly. And I don't think most casual players like that aspect of the game very much. And I don't think most players will want to have anything to do with that. And they would rather play a game that's much more fun and much less cock and ball torture than hear you guys listen all day. But it's funny.
Fair enough. But sure. But let me just dial back. Let me just get back to my point, and then I'll shut up, and then I'll let you guys talk. Okay. So, infantry gear seems to be a little bit. Generally speaking, Wardens tend to one-shot things a little bit more. That's
start naming it. You always make a generalistic statement and you don't back it up. Okay. Come on, name stuff and I give you the content.
I listed it earlier, but let me continue. Let me continue. Right, naval specifically right now is incredibly Warden favored, because on top of, generally speaking, having better naval gear for the longest time, for the last 2 years, you guys have had the better naval gear. All the new shit that was added to balance things out now got completely fucked over by the state of the Warden scout plane. Am I wrong in that? Or is that just
so,
like,
yes.
am I making?
Yes, I think so as well.
So if you take out if your colleague takes out any of the small boats,
no, I think you're wrong on that as well, Legendary. I think you're wrong on that as well, because you again generalize
Hey,
stuff.
Stop interrupting him. Let him talk, because I don't. We can't let him get his full point out. Let him talk, and then have your point after.
If a new player loads into Foxhole and they go, okay, I really want to play Foxhole. I want to play the naval stuff. Would you recommend them playing on Collie? Sincerely, for them to enjoy the game. Would you sincerely tell them, hey, go play on Collie? Because
they have only one option.
They have only one option.
No,
because
they only have one option. Okay, so after telling me to let him finish the sentence, okay. So Legendary, there's more than just gear to it. But you can play Collie and go naval. You just have to want one specific regiment. Or you get lucky and Cuff is Collie as well. as this war, you have 2 collie regiments that are good enough to play against Warden Navy regiments. Yes. It's like whoever is this here, VF guys as the only one that's somewhat regulated to Navy, and the other one is Cav. And these Cav guys already had, not Cav guys, the VF guys already had to merge to get enough manpower into Navy.
But
Like,
is Navy worth it at the moment, even?
Yes.
No, it's dead on both sides. It's dead on both sides because of
No,
bombers.
that's not true.
Has nothing to do with Navy gear.
Yeah, Navy's pointless right now. It's pure LARP.
Like, we can start from the beginning. We can talk about this Navy stuff. Okay, we talk about naval release. Our gunboat was probably better. Was it that much better that you can't play Navy?
Probably.
I don't know. Our submarine was unusable. It was LARP. The torpedoes did nothing. Every collie that tells me that the submarine on release was anything but dog shit didn't play it. It didn't do large shoals. It didn't do damage. You needed 2 submarines to alpha kill anything with HP. Everyone that says it did large shoals on release, every opinion redacted, irrelevant. Yepper. You guys had a DD that could free roam everything and fuck up everything until we unlocked our BB. And you still somehow lost that update war on Navy as well. Weird. So, then we have battleships against battleships. I would say it's the same shit with different spices. I would personally say the same for the frigate. Yes, the one is easier to reload, the other one has more HP, the other one has this and that. If you think the difference between the DD and frigate is enough, that the same players would constantly always lose, I think I have to disagree. I think it's just the same shit with different spices. The gunboat performance was different. Yes, I agree. But I don't think it was war-winning impact. The issue is that not enough collies were interested in Navy as well. And then you have this compounding issue of one faction playing Navy the entire time. Like, our Navy players got so much shit for it as well because they didn't play land lanes. But eventually we had more and more pop all over. Like, more people logged in after Navy update. The player numbers are going up. All of a sudden you have excess manpower, and that excess manpower can go to Navy. I don't know.
I can't even give an opinion on the. I don't even get.
I don't know what you want to hear about Navy that is so inherently imbalanced that it's unplayable.
I can't even give an opinion on when naval started.
You can drop the collie mines in front of the gunboats as well. I still agree that our scout plane is more comfortable to use, but the scout plane is not the reason that Navy is dead. The same reason the torpedo bomber is not the reason that Navy is dead. It's the heavy bomber. Because that one straight up HP kills every Navy asset.
That is true.
So
and that's the biggest issue.
This is something though that I would love to address though, right? So you
and sorry, yeah. No. Sorry.
So you would say that the Navy aspect doesn't matter, but you would also like to say that scout plane doesn't have a big effect on Navy. Would you agree?
It has an effect. It has an effect. It's also toxic because of the after-mentioned issues as well of Legendary initially, like I think 1.5 hours at this point ago, that armets right now are way too accessible and everyone can spam the shit out of recon planes, no one cares, right? They either need to get more expensive,
so
or
right
you
though,
need
but
to down
again,
but
we're agreeing though that scout planes are very easy to spam, and that we literally can't play any of our new small Navy vessels. Would you also agree that the Warden scout plane can kill small boats better than the Colonial one?
probably, but it's not war-winning impact.
Well,
Like,
okay, but stop. Let's stop. Let's define. No, you're interrupting me. I was talking. We're gonna go to the point of we got to talk about this and get to the exact point that I'm trying to talk about. You say it's not war-winning impact, but let's address war-winning impact. It's to make the enemy team log out. If you constantly harass someone with something that is better, again, the 5%, and make them want to log out, and we cannot do the same in the same tandem, would that not also be what we're talking about in general, where it's the gear does affect the player base, and it's not just a fact of what's up?
I propose a quick poll of the chat, since you have 140 fucking people in the chat right now. We can ask them a simple question. We can use these people and get their opinion that way, right? Does chat think that bombers killed Navy? Is Navy dead, chat? Yes or no?
I mean, that's a
Answer
fact,
that
I think
chat.
right? That
no,
I mean,
that's
that's
a fact.
100%.
I think there's no
Yeah, but
discussion.
let's make sure that everybody at least agrees on this basic fact before anything else, right? Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay, there you go. Thank you, chat. At least everybody agrees on that baseline, right? What can we do
I mean-
about that now? What can we realistically do about that? Any suggestions from you guys or for chat? We're reading chat, guys.
I mean, we have to see what Dev does in 6 months or 8 months. Until then, nothing will change. That's the
So,
development cycle.
This is, I think, the point that we're talking about is you write it off as it's not a big deal, and this is what me and Legendary keep talking about, and this is why I think it hits home. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things if your Navy scout plane or your scout plane can dumpster our boats better than our scout plane can dumpster your boats. You're writing that off as it's not a big deal, but when you generally are trying to make something happen and you have that advantage over and over and over again, would that not incentivize you to not keep wanting to do the same things, like to keep
Okay,
attempting?
perfect. Yeah, I know where you're going. Okay, where are we pushing right now? Is it land or Navy?
Where did your
I'm going
where did your
somewhere.
push start in Westgate?
Yeah, so we can
Hold
all
on,
agree
but
that
where did
right
it
now
start
the
in
majority-
Westgate?
Yeah.
It started at the
Yeah.
Gallows with Navy, right? We didn't have that same opportunity. Okay,
No,
so
no,
henceforth,
Gallows did not die to Navy.
was it not a landing that started that?
All of our
No,
advances
Gallows
are
got
on
land
land.
pushed. Gallows got land
All
pushed.
of our advances are right now on land, and all of your
Yeah.
arguments, as of
Only
out of a
Stemma-
warden,
only
out of a
Stemma
warden
is-
perspective, Lunaire is doing the same shit to PvE that our scout plane. Like, it's easier to use. It is slightly better. It does not get fucked by a fucking barbed wire fence. It's a cut of 1,000 needles. How do we manage to win land now? Like, if the scout plane single-handedly defeats Navy, and the Lunaire, out of a warden perspective, single-handedly wins the infantry PvE war, how do we win land then? You could
Can I
say
make a quick?
wait,
Can I-
this one. You could say,
Yep.
yeah, warden cope about Lunaire, get fucked. Yeah. Collie cope about scout plane, get fucked.
I just want to make a quick intermission since I asked the question earlier, and chat did post a few suggestions. Anything from changing the bomb damage type to ships needing better AA or ships having
They need better
automatic
AA. 100%. It's a joke. Like, look at
I think that is the
ships.
main good. I think that is the main good point.
Yeah. Look at ships in
we
World
had-
War II, even in interwar periods. They had AA. The ships right now have nothing. It's cope.
And
Like, they need-
it's like
Yeah.
mostly change. It's like mostly change the bomb damage that I'm reading right now, and change how the way that AA behaves. I think most of the people in the chat can agree on these two things. I think personally AA is the correct answer. I think it's like with the fire updates. If you guys remember when the fire was introduced, it was OP as fuck. There was only buckets. There was no fire trucks, so you could even put a fire out, which was tier 5 or 4. Right, so that was hilarious. We all laughed at that. We all died from that. You also had Navy with one side having a sub. Granted, it's shit apparently from what Mira's been saying, right? But still, one side got a sub, one side got a DD. That was fucked as well. It took also a lot of months to implement. And I think if we don't see changes soon, the AE fix could take months. It could take literally months, and I would not want to be in the shoes of the dev right now, because alone in this Twitch right now, you got 150 angry fucking people watching.
Oh, 100%.
So that's a lot of pressure. That is a
Well,
lot of
right.
pressure on
So,
the
like,
dev boys.
here's the thing, bro, is, again, a lot of these issues stem from more dev issues than anything, right? Like, again, the things that we can only address are things that we can do. I personally, again, think that there's a lot of issues not only with bombers, and I've already suggested my opinion on how to fix bombers, but not only that, the dive bombers and torp bombers are like the most bullshit fucking to either side ever. I don't know, dude. I honestly think the game might be better off with just bombers and fighters until both sides get cast planes and both sides get navy planes. I
Even
think
for
it's
Russian
so
take-
ass.
even for close air support, you have to redesign, right?
I
because,
mean,
like,
dude, it's so
The dive
ass.
bomber, I just want to say, the dive bomber on an asymmetrical design is such a middle finger to warden tanks you cannot imagine. Like our faction is supposed to have more armor, less HP, and you get something that ignores armor.
I hate to
It
break it to
ignores
you,
the-
but
it
I hate to break
ignores
it to
the
you, but
armor?
hold up. For the last 2 weeks, I have seen a solid wooden tank line on the western side of the map for like a solid 2 weeks. So I know that the dive bomber is really frustrating to play against. But I'm sorry to say this, I could probably outperform a dive bomber with 3 partisans running stickies, and I have. So this notion that the dive bomber has shut down all warden tank lines is pure fucking psyops. Sorry. Dive bombers are
Yeah,
cool and fun, and you
We are
can.
legendary. We will talk about this when we get our cast plane, and you guys eat shit the entire time. We will talk about this again, and it's the same argument with the Stygian. Oh, a low steel 94.5 is not an issue. We get the STD. All of a sudden, we need to touch it. It's the
I
same
barely
shit
see
all
the
over
Stygian
again.
anymore on the field, dude. Ever
Yeah,
since
because
the
it's a
change
heavy
I
gun.
made,
I'm
I
talking
have to
about
deploy.
96 Stygian. I talk
Dude,
about
the
96 to 108
Dude,
Stygian.
the only opinion that I've heard from the dive bomber for like this entire month has been like, oh, the warden tank line is dead. No one's gonna tank anymore. Wardens don't do tanks anymore. Doug, for the last 2 weeks, Fahrenheit Coast, Westgate now, and probably Origin tomorrow, has literally been a non-stop stream of still Outlaws, SPGs, BTs, and maybe some silver hands
and
and
Westgate and Ferenic have a very unique situation where the closest airfield is a bit away, which makes loitering a bit more complicated. And I don't want to trash on on anyone, but depending on where you play, dive bombers can be more and less oppressive. Like maybe ask about Bone, how many tanks had fun in King's Cage.
And King's Cage is blue.
Ah, okay. So by that argument, whoever wins the war needs to be nerfed. Then we talk
No.
about handouts again.
No, I didn't say that.
No,
But all I'm saying is like the psyops that the dive bomber is the most oppressive thing in the game. When at most you can one dive bomber with 4 bombs can kill 1 tank. Cool. The tank lines are 20 plus for like the last 2 weeks. Not the last 48 hours. Not after the collies started logging off. The last 2 weeks we have been seeing 2 to 3 super heavies sitting right next to each other. Dive bomber hits them. Nothing fucking happens. 4 or 5 chieftains show up. The chieftains roll in. The chieftains die. So ranchers, you know, I was there when ranchers died. Do you know how ranchers died? It was chieftains and jesters. So
Yep,
this
sounds like
psyops
you could
that
have
like
solved
the
it with-
dive bomber is like completely shuts down warden tank lines is just pure psyops. Sorry, it's not true.
Let's review the fact, guys. Okay, let's review the fact. Graph, what does the dive bomber exactly do? So it ignores the armor, correct?
Yes, it does 1,000
Okay,
1,050 damage.
if let's say you have like multiple tanks lined up. If you throw a bomb right in the middle of all these tanks, how
Yeah,
many
you do
tanks
damage
get
to
actually
both.
splashed?
Both.
Both. So if you
Full
have 2
damage
tanks,
rolls.
right?
Yeah,
If you have
do
2 tanks, you throw the bomb in the
2,100
middle.
damage. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like it's the same with 75 millimeter.
So the 2 tanks get the same amount of damage, both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean
And
that's
like,
I can understand why
light
the walls
tanks,
call
half
it
tracks,
Sky
everything
Hitler.
dies super fast. It's a super easy, fast way of dealing with tanks. Just because people persist in playing it, like
What-
by that
what is
argument,
the-
by that
what is the
argument, Collies still building ships. Navy can't be dead. I still
Graph-
see DDs killed every day. Navy can't be
Graph, what is the disable, the subsystem disable chance on that bomb? What does
dead.
it do
Super high.
exactly?
What is it? 3-6 times? You
It's
tell me. I don't know.
7x.
It's insanely high. Yeah, 7 times. It's basically whatever it hits.
How does it
should be.
compare? How does it compare to a sticky or other AT weapon?
I mean, sticky
that is the question.
quite close and personal, but I think sticky should be in the same range. A 94.5, the most potent
I
anti-tank
think-
round, has
I
a
think how the devs envisioned the dive bomber to be was that it would be a bit more rarer than just being spammed like this. And I think part of this is a problem that it's a brand new update war and everybody on the model wants to do air, right? And like you said, Graph, next war we might see less of that, right? And more free reign over the air, less people in the air in general, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think the devs expected that many people in the air, and that's why I think the values are so fucked and why everyone's complaining in chat about Sky Hitler and all that and the bombers and all that. Because I think there is just too many people.
Yes.
I
I
think
avoided the word. Yes.
sorry, Berg, I'm gonna get your stream banned now. But beside the point,
I don't,
I
I
think
don't
the
think
devs did
that's
not
against
expect.
TOS just to fucking
It
say
is
the word.
not. It's not. I just want
Fucking
to avoid it. I
thank
think
fuck.
it's
Fucking
hilarious.
hide, like,
but
god
I-
dang,
but I-
dude.
But I don't think I don't think the devs expected just so many people, so many planes in the air, right? Because like Graf said, the only bottleneck is not rares, it's sulfur, and you would think that the devs would have balanced their air around the number of rares you can get, right? So something that tells me like they didn't quite expect that to go the way they wanted it to go, right? If that makes sense.
I don't think that they like. I think everyone want them on Death Branch. Is my feeling that what they are implementing right now is the ultimate power grab of power grabs, and that's also what happened. The bomber replaced, with the exception of super niche things, it basically replaced. It replaced RECs to a large part. It replaced storm cannons to a large part. It replaced a lot of stuff. It introduced a lot of new capabilities. I cannot talk for CAS, like for actual close air support, because I don't have it. I'm just at the receiving end of it. And I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that Air introduced. It's also the speed of which it introduces it with the current Intel system. Like, first of all, split Intel is a horrible decision because no one will have constantly two.
Hey,
like
next
the
poll,
majority
next
of players,
poll.
right? Like the
Next
majority
poll.
of.
Ask the chat, bro. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is that a bad decision? Like splitting the radios, like air and land, guys. Chat. Is it a bad thing?
Like my personal takes on it is, the majority of players don't even have a radio equipped at all. Having them to equip two is an issue.
Yes.
Aircrafts are super fast. The majority of players will know a bomber is incoming when it's already over their head. Information. It's always the issue that players do not have enough information. And then you have these radar stations, which probably do not have enough range, but they also do not cover both. I don't even think a radar station providing 500-meter true vision would be an issue. Because the Intel Center can tap enemy intel for 2.5k, which is, in the majority of cases, because the enemy will always build up intel when he pushes, it's effectively the same as true vision. Like, a radar with 750 meters of true vision would be fine, most likely. And you can just unify the intel to make it easier for everyone.
That makes me think, Graf. The current problem that people have as well in both factions is that you cannot see stuff coming, right? Even with shitloads of radar, you have to fucking spam radars everywhere, right? So you need either to have planes in the air 24/7 or have people in the air 24/7.
Which you can't because they don't have enough loiter time. Right? Like, if I have to make like quick band-aid solutions, because the other issue with radar stations, they work if you have like an established base. But we have this. You always have this perpetual no man's land, right? And the deeper you push, the harder it is to get intel. Especially because it's a large structure. It needs time to dry, everything. So the issue is, in my personal opinion, intel and how fast you see it. Because on a front line, like, honestly, the bomber comes in. There is no way he gets spotted by anything if it's a push. He drops and he's out. There's no time to QRF, and fighters have not enough queue time. And I also think fighters exclusively, only fighters, because all they do is they prevent other aircrafts from being oppressive. They themselves, including our 14.5 mean gun, they don't really do anything to the ground. The fighters are too risky to strafe infantry. They occasionally do it if it's necessary, right? You may, like, for example, when we killed Cinderwick, there was still like one CV nearby and we sent our fighters to kill the CV. That's an exception. You would not just start killing CVs on random front lines just for the sake of it. It's always a specific case when a fighter even tries to engage with ground targets. So what you need to do to make it a bit more fair and also to put in the risk, because let's be real, in a lot of cases, a bomber can go in without fighter escort and probably get away with it, which is completely against anything it should be. Fighters exclusively need way more fuel. They need to be able to go min speed and loiter in the air for a very long time. We need to unify air intel. That's like two of the first things they need to do. Navy right now is royally fucked, and it needs to get a complete. I mean, I honestly think large holes are super toxic. It doesn't matter how they get deployed.
I think the main thing that people agreed on in the chat was like some sort of AI rework, not necessarily changing the damage of the weapons.
Yeah, but you also cannot make AI like AI or AA.
Like AI AA. My bad.
That's not gonna be added.
It's against.
That's not gonna get added to the game.
No, it will not get added.
It's not gonna get added to the game. Sorry.
If
bombers roll out, you have to get in a fighter, and I agree with you in this one, Gav. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's like
we're never gonna get AIA.
But what about having to defend 24/7 your fucking facility? then you
Denico,
wonder
That's what
why
they
people are
expect. No,
burnt.
no, but that's what they expect. Like, I mean, they
but
also
then
have
you
to
wonder,
rework
but then you
facilities,
wonder
right?
why people are burnt out of this fucking war.
No, I agree.
right?
No. We are not wondering why people burn out. We know why they burn out. But the issue with facilities, for example, is what they also need to change. Bro, we can't store all of our heavy assets on cranes that have 1000 HP or something with tier 2 resistances. They need
Yep.
to rework that shit. Like, especially
Yep.
now with air. With air, it now gets even more prevalent because both paratroop airplanes can always suicide range everything. They drop inside and get Cutlers out or Lunairs or whatever.
What is
Like,
ridiculous is the 30 minutes intel. The 30 minutes no intel. I don't know. Like everybody in
it's
the
not
dev
even the
branch
biggest
back then-
issue. It's not even the
Yeah, but
biggest issue.
everybody.
It's just
yeah, but it's
QRF
one of
timer.
the issues. It's one of the
It
issues.
is no, yes, it's a compounding issue, right? But even if you don't have Invis, they already crash the planes into the facility. It actually doesn't matter. Not every facility has a home region spawn point or is equipped for QRF. And it doesn't matter if they have a Lunaire, it doesn't matter if they have a Cutler. Cranes are super fragile. Like we need to there's a lot of stuff that like this airborne update. I think the biggest issue in Outrage is it showed like the outrageous like things that were already problematic previously are now getting so hard power crap in the span of one singular update that a lot of the stuff falls apart. Like the current storing methods for battle tanks, SPGs, RECs, completely out of date. For some reason, airplanes don't have that issue. You have a hangar for them.
If you can,
store
if
them
you can even call it a storage method for the battle tanks.
Yeah, it's a band-aid solution now for, I think, how long is it? 2 years? 2.5? I don't remember. Like, maybe it's 3 years already since 1.0, right? Like, it's a band-aid solution that the community came up with because, let's be real, the issue was never the enemy partisans stealing it. It was your own faction briefing your own equipment.
Yep.
Like, and I also understand it. You see, oh yeah, it's a free battle tank. I know me as a solo most likely will never have the capability of getting it. I mean, that also got better with war eco on both sides, right? Like Logi regiments, making it possible for smaller groups to just buy them. But
I've read
there's
an
a lot of
interesting
issues.
comment. I've read an interesting comment in the chat right now. Nick's suggestion. What if you had just like when you have nukes hitting the town? What if you had an air raid siren that would pop off from the AI? Right? AI does not have AA, right? But it has methods of warning, right?
Dog,
What
I will
about-
fly. I will fly a fucking scout past every air siren every single day just to piss everyone
No,
off.
no. Make it so.
I will
No.
fucking do it.
Just
No, hear me
permanent air raids.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Make it so that it only triggers with bombers.
Heavy
Yeah, but the issue is
aircraft.
not people not knowing the bomber comes. That's not the issue. The issue is people can't get there quick enough. Like current redeploy methods, like everything about this game is not fast enough for airplanes. Even a bomber at like min speed is just so much faster
Yeah,
than
it's
everything else in
too
this
fast.
game. Like you
There is no
can't
count.
like,
You cannot do a counter. There's no
like for
counter.
example, a chieftain can only surprise you if he comes through the border. Otherwise, he won't most likely get spotted, right? Like somewhere. Like it's just
Or if you're a
QRF
noob.
time. The maps are too small for the speed that aircrafts have right now, and the redeploy and getting to the location where you need to be is not reliable enough. You can't like not everything has like home spawn, right? Like and especially if it's a frontline hex as well. The world like the only one is the dev place, the relics and town halls. That's it. Like a lot of mechanics in the game that's been in there for years cannot cope with with airborne right now.
Exactly.
And it shows the cracks like just very, very obviously.
That
That's
graph
the
that goes
biggest
back
issue.
to the point I wanted to make earlier about, like, in my opinion, that at least in this current state, Foxhole should not have any planes. Like, Foxhole was not designed for planes, right? They're just trying to force this concept in, which is completely turning everything in its head. The balance was garbage, right? I think all chatterbags agree on that, because there is always something people disagree on with balance. But considering all the facts, considering this update, I think you will almost wish to come back to before the update, balance-wise, because somehow, all of a sudden, things seem to be a lot more balanced than they were right now, right? It was the most balanced you could possibly ever have it be, despite all the little nitpicks here and there, right? And
I
this
personally
update broke everything. Absolutely
I
everything.
personally have to say I think gear balance overall, like if you compare everything with everything, was actually kind of alright. The pop issue is probably something they will never be able to fix because it's completely dependent on the player base. Because every solution that I've heard so far goes in the direction of, well, then you don't allow players to pick that faction. Well, then they don't play the game. Like, right? Like,
And I also want to address.
But
I also
that's
wanna
not.
address the-
Sorry, one sec. But that's not
Yeah, go
good for
ahead.
the game. But that's not good for the game, Grab. Can you at
What?
least acknowledge that if a player wants to play naval, they have to play Warden because the collie
I-
stuff is just dog shit.
Legendary, I highly recommend you to ask a neutral, one of the, like, probably the best neutral regiment in this entire game that I know of is Cuff. Ask Cuff about naval performances and if it's actually related to the equipment performance or if it's your faction. Because I said that it's you because I'm majority a Warden vet. I play collies at least once per year, sometimes more, but usually just once when 11E goes for Vacation War.
Yep.
Cuff, Telefrick, all of these guys went collie. And the major issue they have is not the gear, it's the faction not touching it. They bring in
Right.
knowledge, they bring in people. If you ask all of the Warden, Vet, Navy Regis that go collie, they all say the gear is fine. The issue is if they go into Intel chat and they ask for repair crew, they ask for stuff, they don't get people to play it. You have the tools, no one wants to play them because this entire faction coped themselves into the belief that Navy is unplayable. I'm not saying that the gunboat initially was fair, but Cav is insanely frustrated with no one in the Colonial faction joining them whenever they want to do something. Telefrick had same issues. If Telefrick says, we need repair crew, we are here, we want to go there, their ship is full within 5 minutes. It just doesn't happen on the collie side.
Graf, I haven't gotten to really properly talk to a Warden in like fucking 5 years. There is like this culture difference, right? A cultural difference, but for real, about how the collies are supposedly more independent, like single players, right? Like people not necessarily working together in a large group, more like a lot of little small groups. I don't know if chat agrees with me on this, right? If people think that collie is more small group based, but I am under the impression, right, that Wardens are a lot more organized and a lot more structured, like a lot more bigger Regis working together, right? Less smaller people, and for that the collies are more smaller people, because I grew up as a wrangler, right? Trying to get all noobs to do something together and sensible, and that's what I usually do on the streams as well, right? But I think this is also this culture difference, if you could call it, if it is true or not.
I don't think it goes that deep. I think the majority, like my observation of the past 2 years, I would say, is that the majority of regiments on both sides does not have an inherent interest in coordinating with the rest of the faction. There's a lot of Regis, and probably it's for their own health, and it's better that way, because I don't want to tell anyone how they have to play the game. If someone wants to play casual, be my guest. Just don't try to talk down on tryhards. It goes the same way for tryhards. Every tryhard that loses his mind over the casual not playing the way that he thinks it should be played, kind of touch grass. As long as you stay within TOS, go for it, right? But I mean, otherwise, he is as allowed to play the game as you are. Both of you want to copy.
No, I don't mean that you don't allow people.
I want to go somewhere. Wait. And so I think the majority of Regis on both sides, like a lot of those guys are uncoordinated and they just log in, they want to play with their friends and log out again. Perfect approach to the game. I think personally, from my, I also never deeply connected within the collie faction for multiple of reasons, but my understanding is that there is no central veteran hub, and to my knowledge, that's one of the differences. That's all I can say, and that's where also the argument that Legendary brought up earlier, which I'm saying since 2 years. My feeling is, like, from all the collie vets that went Warden and instantly stayed, if you are a solo vet, there's always a place for you, and you can go there, assuming you have enough standing. I mean, there's a certain amount of nepotism with that system as well. Not everyone gets in, right? And there's no clear definition of a vet. That's the issue, and if you have a certain reputation, you will never get in. But you can be a solo guy that just has a lot of game experience, and all of the Regis will post the operations there. There's QRF. Everything is... It's hard to explain, but you basically have a home where you still know what goes on the entire map. You can coordinate, and you can take part in big operations you could never take part of, even because you are solo. But all of these regiments, then all of a sudden they say, okay, we do an RSC up here, and all of a sudden you have 30 vets next to you, and the entire region is vet stacked. And if collies have that, if collies have that, I don't know about it. That's cool. All I've seen always is they have vet stack coalitions, but they can only go so far because of logistical constraints.
Graf, how long have you been playing the game again?
4 years.
Always for 4 years. Okay, so people in the chat can know as well. All right, I've been playing since War 44. That's 6 years. I feel like since War 100, there has been a drastic shift in the veteran population on the collie side. It might just be a bias of me because I play Colonial, right? But there is this impression that's
You
shared
lost Larry.
a lot
You
of
lost
people.
Larry. You lost a great
Yeah, but
collie
that's
hero.
like that same period. That same period as well. Not just Larry, but a lot of people who like got people to do shit what needs to be done, right? People may hate Larry or love him, right? Doesn't fucking matter. The only fact is he got shit done when he had to, right? And yeah. But my point is, like, I feel like since War 100, there's been a staggering loss of vet population on the colonial side. Maybe it's just my opinion. Maybe chat wants to also get their thoughts on it. Maybe Big Bear, maybe Legendary would also weigh in on that. How is it for the Wardens? Has things changed since War 100 at all? Because I feel like we've never recovered properly from that population loss for the vets.
I think overall, vet pop makes up less and less percentage of the overall pop. Overall, I mean, this game always had an insane turnover rate, right? A lot of players quit the game before they ever reach 20 hours because it's a very unique and very probably also grindy. It has the same issues that Rust has as well, right? Like this constant, like people can't really, they don't like this night capping, right? Night capping is for everyone. When I go to sleep and I wake up, it's gone. It applies to every time zone. People don't like getting night capped. I don't like getting night capped either. But it's a time zone thing. But I don't want to go too deep into that. We have we have more new vets coming in. We don't. I don't say that we lose more than we gain. But it just feels like the overall impact is less and less. Like it's the percentage. Like you get more and more players, and not all of them stay vet. Or the issue is with that as well. What I mentioned, right? Because of the certain amount of nepotism that goes with these kind of discords. Getting in those discords is also not easy because you need to be verified, you need to be vouched. So a lot of these newer regiments that like formed for them some thematic reason or whatever, they never connect to those discords. I don't know. Like to me, those vet discords do as good as they ever did. Like at least on one side. As I said, I never connected to the collie ones because I never stayed there long enough. But yeah.
Thank you, Graf. I would like to quickly get a second question in for you still. There's this recurring question that gets asked to me, and there's a lot of people who ask the same question. Like just right now in chat, I've seen it. That's why I bring it up. How is it that apparently there's way less Warden streamers than there is Colonials? Right? Why is there more collie streamers? Is that also a culture?
I mean, historically speaking, I think it comes back to the toxicity that once prevailed in the Warden faction. Like there was I mean, that's also something else for every streamer, in my opinion. Like Intel League was always cope because someone could always just make an alt account and just
sit there with a radio. Yeah,
I remember.
Buy an account for 5 pesos.
Yeah, I remembered a moment at the start of this war when I was in Basin talking to someone about like I made a Reddit post or something on FOD, and he was saying like, yeah, I don't know, I think you leaked intel. Are you sure you want to post this? And then we had a collie scout plane above us. Like, okay, intel is dead. Yeah, everyone always knows how everything looks like. No one cares.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you have full intel now. Intel is super prevalent.
So maybe now with the airborne update, like the streamer ratio will go back to equal? Question mark.
I don't know. I just remember that there was a large amount of toxicity. I know that a lot of the established streamers nowadays probably started back then. I also think that Foxhole, unfortunately, is not a very streamable game. Like, unless you do backline, that's where you can keep your sanity.
Or you don't give a shit about Intel, right?
No,
you don't give a shit about being stream sniped and stuff like that.
Exactly, but that's the attitude you need to have. I know, and it's super sad that collies get stream, like it's not collies, that streamers get stream sniped. I also fear that it's also always a bit hard to prove, because I would like advocate now, for example, yeah, then you need in-game moderation and you need to ban those stream snipers, right? Maybe. I don't even know because it's not connected to the game and it's a weird state in between. But I think if I would ever start streaming, I think I would go absolutely shitso. Because every time there is a legit sticky rush, I would think they stream snipe me. Even though it might have been legit. But I will never know and I would go completely shitso over it. Like Larry did. 07 Larry. But yeah, I think it's an inherently hard to stream game because all of you want a lot of OPSEC is a thing, right? Like there's certain operations you don't even tell anyone in your own faction. and because you are scared that someone might leak it to collies. How are you supposed to stream that, right? Like, I don't know. It's very hard. And I mean, I don't know a lot of large modern streamers either. The only ones that come to my mind, with the exception of Moydog, which is multi-streaming, I would say. It's not exclusive Foxhole. The majority is also not English speaking. I think I think next to everyone that is streaming in English plays Collie for some reason. But I cannot pinpoint it. I don't know. Maybe it's one toxicity for streamers.
It could be anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Historically speaking, I would say it was the organized effort of wardens against the quote-unquote intel leaks. That's what pushed Hans away for sure.
I remember that. I remember those days,
I remember
yeah.
that as well. I remember that as well. Like, and I also think that there's a lot of players that have a certain amount of hate boner towards those streamers still. I think if Hans goes warden, he might instantly get bad comms. Who knows, right? But yeah. I'm not saying that that's healthy in any way or form, but it's definitely part of it, yeah. I'm not sure.
Big Burr, I think we're touching on 2 hours, which is usually your limit.
Yeah,
I
have one more
suggest
question
something.
for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
So through all the balance bullshit, through everything, obviously people are still very both passionate, right, about the game. What are some actual changes that we should suggest to the devs as immediate fixes that aren't going to take 6 months? Because I do agree, if these things don't change, that we're going to have an unstable game to keep playing on for 6 months. I really...
Who should start?
What's that?
Who should start?
We'll just go from top to bottom, because I genuinely feel
Okay.
like there are things that need to happen that if they do not, that we're going to have some serious issues with player retention and population. And I'm not even meaning just for new players. I'm meaning for vets in general, because I'm going to be honest, dude. It's really not a game I want to play. If every time I push, I can just get stall bombed by a bomber every fucking day. I just generally don't want to do that. Like, I have other games that I can play instead of going through that hellhole. So, Legendary, what do you think?
Look, I'm gonna say the elephant in the room. There needs to be a rebalance of naval assets again. Unfortunately, right now, I'm gonna keep drilling this point, but I do feel like that the Warden Scout just shuts down all of Kali early game naval. It doesn't feel great. If the idea here is we want more balance of like naval PvP, then there needs to be opportunities to have naval PvP. And right now, the Warden Scout is a little bit too oppressive. Now, I'm not saying the Warden Scout needs to just be outright nerfed. I'm just saying there needs to be better ways to counter it, whether that be better AA, better intel. There needs to be something where the AA boat, for specifically, needs to be able to shut down air. There needs to be something, or like maybe the destroyer machine guns need to be really good against scouts, or something like that to provide some level of gameplay to the thing. Because right now, I don't think any real collies, at least on the west hand side, was able to really use the collie gunboat because it just died to the scouts. Like I didn't see any collie gunboats really go. Specifically the gunboats, not the medium boats or the Sombras, because everyone played those because they were PMATs. But no one invested RMATs in making collie gunboats, and I think that was a big L for the collie side on the west hand side. We just didn't do gunboat ops. There was like maybe 1 or 2 gunboats throughout the entire time in STEM and fissions. So I think there needs to be a rebalance on that. On top of that, I'm not entirely 100% sure that large bombers really need to be touched right now. Big Bear, I'm not really on the ball with you with like bombers need to cross the entire map to hit something, and then there's a chance they like glitch out or fighter suplexes them or whatever you guys call it. I don't think that's healthy either, because it's a massive time investment. I don't care about the resource investment. At the end of the day, resources are infinite. The time investment is really big. I would really feel shit if I have to fly a bomber for 2 hours back and forth to hit maybe one target, and then
Yeah.
and then within 60 seconds of me reaching the target, some dude fucking like glitches out and slams me into a bridge or something like that, and I die. I don't think it would feel great. However, that being said, I do think that bombers need to have less of an impact against push bunkers. I think push bunkers and engineers need to get a big fucking hug. I'm of the opinion that bunker bases, they need to add a new type of bunker base that basically works like, and I'm going to trigger all the wardens that are listening in, that works like Secret Bismarck's fucking rail cores. But it's, instead of it being a glitched out bullshit fucking thing that he figures out, the fucking weird ass engineering wizard, just make it something that any new player can get in a CV and build it. So instead of building a regular bunker base, you build like an air shelter bunker base where it takes less damage from bombs and stuff like that, but it has way reduced features than a regular bunker base. So think of it as like halfway between an encampment that's really bomb resistant and a bunker base, so that you interact, so you can connect it to the rest of your bunker network. I think that would be great. So just so that 4 bombers can't just go and go, oh lol, there's a push there, gone. There has to be something like that. Like maybe it's like a small profile bunker base. Maybe it's like a underground bunker base, not like the underground fortress, but just like an underground one that's harder to hit. Something along those lines, or something that's quite spammable. Maybe we get a bunker base that you can build with 100 BMATs instead of 300 BMATs. Something along those lines. I think that would be a good way for the game to actually feel like the dude that's building and the engineers don't get fucked by regiment man pulling out 4 bombers and going, no, fuck you, your fun is over. In my opinion, that would be not a bad way to go about it. So that's my opinion. I think there just needs to be more of a naval balance. We need to see more changes to naval, and bombers shouldn't be able to insta fucking delete everything that push bolters bolt. So yeah, that's it for me.
I would just like to give some context to Legendary's complaint right now comment right now of the rail calls, because we might have some newer players in the chat real quick. Rail calls, if you guys don't know, there were bunker bases which a player named Secret Bismarck was known for putting railway tracks on top, so that the RT would hit the railway tracks, which had a high resistance to artillery, and not hit the actual bunker core itself. Right, just a little side parenthesis there for the people who did not know. That was a while ago now. My personal opinion would be that I think the devs dug themselves into a massive hole, which I'm not even sure if they can really dig themselves out of, because everything that they will do, but everything that they will do now will piss off somebody. I don't think there is no world in which they won't piss off anybody. I tell you what won't piss off people though is that many people have been asking, desperately pleading for any sort of quality of life update, right? The builders, the logi man, you guys in chat, right? You know what I'm talking about, the quality of life stuff. You guys have been just begging for it, right? And I wish they would have just focused on that first, making a solid base before adding on top of that all the airborne brain consuming stuff, right? Because the stuff is already tedious enough, and they just dumped a whole lot more shit on it, which makes everything so much more tedious than it already was before. Quality of life is desperately needed, boys. I don't know if Chet agrees with me or not, but that is my opinion. And until, I don't know if they want to do that first, or they want to fix the broken mess that is this update, right? But I just think they've dug themselves into a hole, and I wouldn't even know personally where to start. It's bad game design choices that they've done, and personally, if it was my game, I would have done quality of life first, make a solid base before moving on. But now we're here, I honestly, I couldn't tell you. Tell you.
Okay, I have a longer list because I did multiple feedbacks over the past time. With Airborne, we can start. I think a couple of things. The first thing is unify intel is probably the most important one, just for information. It's an easy fix, probably. The other one is they need to increase fuel capacity of fighters exclusively. Only fighters need more fuel range. The rest is maybe even already too long. I think for dive bombers, the only nerf that is, in my opinion, necessary is to get the bomb damage below 1000, so you cannot one-shot CVs anymore. I think that's a very toxic threshold, in my personal opinion. What else is there? We have, in regards of air, I also think the update war was just heavy lock-in, so we have to see how it develops throughout the next wars, and we have to wait until both factions get their tools. I think building needs a rework as well, again, because even though I agree that players should counter players in the current state of the building and how concrete is, especially concrete, it does not allow with lower pop to hold on good enough. For example, me personally, I don't think that anything outside of a Havoc, a King Jester, Electo, or 300mm should even be able to roll through a breach. Like, you should be able to bring specialized equipment to the front. I think if a piece reaches breach shelf, just throwing a Mammon at it and have a chance for breaching is just, considering the logistical effort and the tech effort for concrete, I think it's in a bad state right now, and that also allows low pop PvE right now. I think that's a major contributing factor, that it's harder to defend low pop time zones because of the current state of building, especially concrete. And I think those are like very easy band-aid stuff they can fix. There's a lot of stuff that I also think could be done, but overall it doesn't really matter. There's always some equipment I'm frustrated with, like Highwayman and so on. Mobile AA would be nice, but this is all of these things that I hope they come within the next months. With the second cycle of Airborne. And the one hope I have, I think Airborne was the last major hurdle they had left. Like, the Navy thing was big because they added like large ships to the game. And I think Airborne is basically the last thing that is remaining that is like a major new field of operation that they added. So from now on, my hope at least is that they can now focus on refining already existing mechanics. Because, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff you can do with building, right? Like, they already teased it in the dev stream as well with underground building, that you have like multi-level bunker bases maybe, we will see. I mean, that's a completely different story of problems, but yeah, I don't know. My hope is that now, with all of the major different things implemented, that they can now go back to, as you already mentioned, quality of life, performance increases, and like fleshing out already existing pieces of the game. That's my hope.
Big Bear, I would like to add some closing words, if I may.
Wow, you're
myself?
just gonna skip over my ideas, Hey, that's cool, bro.
No.
Hey, hey, well, fuck me, right? I'm just busting your balls. Go ahead.
I would just want to say, if the next podcast we get again 150 goddamn people watching in the chat right now, this is a lot better for the podcast, not just for like circle jerking ourselves for the viewers, right? But also because we have it allows us to broaden our vision of things much more than just us four dudes here talking with each other, right? Because we have all the different opinions here in the chat, which I really like, right? And I think maybe for the next podcast, which is in 2 weeks, by the way, lads, we can, if people have good questions, I can read them again out loud, and we can give our opinion to those questions as well, on top of our opinions on our subjects, right? I think we can pick subjects from the chat if that sounds good to you, Big Bear, if we have so many lovely people again.
Well, if you guys want to, I do want this podcast to get Collie and Warden. I genuinely only know a lot of Collie streamers. I'm not opposed. I don't know a lot of Wardens out there. I don't want this to become like a just shit post fest for Collies, right? I've had Graf on here a few times. I just don't generally know a lot of Wardens, and I've tried to get like the leader of 82DK on here. I've had I Saw a Bear on here. This isn't a Collie podcast. I genuinely want this to be a neutral. Like, obviously, I'm a Collie, right? I have my opinions about stuff, but it's not meant to just be one thing, right? We want FMAT, we want 82DK, we want all these guys. We want a lot more people. I want to get more people involved in this because, again, the only way that we get to get changes from the devs is for enough of us to have a stance and an opinion. And I really like hearing other people's opinions. So if you guys want, man, in my Discord, I'll
You could also turn this into a 5 people. If you cannot really find more than 2 Wardens, you would have us 3 again. Graf Mayer and another Warden, possibly. I mean, I've seen on the chat right now Von Klaus, Alder, Engineer.
Yeah, we can get Gator
right?
in here
people.
too. That'd be funny. But no, I mean, this is a community thing, man. This isn't like a one way I've had
Yeah.
you on here, Panda, too, and so I definitely would like you guys to get into the Discord, and I added Discord. Funny me! ! Discord. I don't even know my own bots. Okay, well, it should have popped up. I'll link it in a minute. It should have popped up, but anyway,
It did pop up.
okay, good. So yeah, I want to get other people in here. I want to get, I don't want this to just be a shit talking thing, because there are general things that I think wardens have, opinions on that, should be changed too. Like, there's both sides deal with the shittiness of this game.
Exactly.
And I think we should both have an opinion to speak to the devs about it. And I genuinely want this to be a place that we can, get verbal communication of the devs, right? I just I think we need to get a place for communication for that to stem from, in a healthy place, right? Not that fucking cesspool called Reddit. God damn that fucking place.
Exactly. Yeah.
I post on there for shitty shit talks too, but fuck, dude, that's just to get the
There
fucking
was-
goat. You know what I mean?
There was some good rage bait today, guys, and a lot of good opinions, good comments as well.
Yeah, there is a little bit of rage bait in here. Like, we had messages before this, that we
Especially
wanted to get
between.
get some hot takes going on in here. We literally had some text about we wanted to do that, but all that being aside, I generally love having all you guys in here and commenting and all that stuff. And I already kind of said my piece on what I want to be changed. In my opinion, the worst thing that could happen is what happened. Bombers didn't take the exact fear that Legendary had, but he was right in the fact that all balance stems from bombers. Bombers aren't going to hit facilities every single day like we had anticipated early. They just fucking husk all tier 1 and tier 2 bunkers, and they fucking smash Navy boats, and it's to the point where it's Navy literally from Blue Laminate is like, it's unplayable. Graph saying it, we're all saying it. Navy is literally in the shitter.
It's dead.
It's not
like,
in a
it's also
good
way too
place.
expensive.
Exactly.
It's so fucked.
It's not in a good place. And the other half is like, I hate. I wrote this in my notes and I didn't ever say it. I genuinely think that when devs implement a new source to the game, devs flying takes skill. But I generally think the way they should be going about it is, and a lot of people might not like my opinion on this, but I genuinely think they should be going symmetrical with balance and planes as to going with Navy and for planes. Now here's my opinion on that, because you have things like the dive bomber versus the torp bomber. That in and of itself is a bullshit thing
It's
to try to
toxic.
make. It's bullshit
Yes.
because it pins players against each other. I'm not saying that we should have a Warden variation of the dive bomber be the exact same thing. I think that they should have like a APRPG variant, or just make one side have each thing with a different spice, right? Like the Navy bomber for the Colonials should maybe be 20 depth charges, or I don't fucking know. I'm not actually spitting out an idea here, but point being, we should have different planes, but do the same fucking goal, right? Like to
Roll.
Yes.
They did this. They did the same. Unfortunately, they did the same mistake they did in the Navy update war, where one side got a submarine, the other one got a surface ship as their initial large ship. I think they would have done themselves. They would have had a better time if they just have introduced like both sides with a close air support plane. And the heavy bomber, I mean, they probably didn't know or didn't anticipate how strong heavy bombers are against Navy assets, that they are the de facto counter.
Imagine, imagine if the collies didn't get a dive bomber, but we just got the aircraft carrier instead, and the Wardens did get one. It would be really funny if they went that angle with asymmetry.
That's also the other thing.
Thank God they didn't, though.
I also fear that our close air support is probably bound to the Mercy. Maybe it will be weirdly aquatic, so that both aircraft carriers can support fighters and close air support. But that would be so weird. And if
Well,
not,
when they
then,
do that, then they have to give us another fighter, because the only reason you guys got 2 fighters was because yours is a seaplane aircraft tender, and so they'd have to they
so
would have
weird
to give another
begin
fighter.
with.
And that's the other thing. And I didn't even touch on the balance of fighters because that already is just a whole other podcast
division,
to talk
dude.
about. That being said, though, guys, I am late for my bonfire. I want to kind of end it here. If there's any closing comments, though, dive bomber can definitely land on the colonial carrier. I've done it thousands of times this war. That being said, yeah, dude, if you guys have any closing comments, Graph, Geo or Joffrey or Legendary, now's the time.
I would just say, if you guys want to all talk again together, let's see each other again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Chat included, guys. You guys are welcome.
Yeah,
You guys are welcome to join us again. Let's talk again. Let's see, because by then we'll probably be in the next war, right? So we'll probably may have a little bit more perspective of how things went fully.
Maybe
right?
an
When the war
update.
been lost for the collies, or maybe the collies will hold. I'm not want to jinx it, right? But most likely we'll see next war, right? But we'll maybe have some even more perspective than we do now about the current state of the update, right? So see each other in 2 weeks, guys. If Big Burr is not late again.
Hey, whoa, dude! I was in traffic, man. Whoa, that was an off-stream thing, bro. You can't hit me with that. Yo, guys, thank you guys very much. I'm gonna stop the recording here. I'm gonna go raid Mikey. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.